welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week sports podcast that happens every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday.
Hold on.
What is it, Grump?
It's 9:32.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes, this show occurs every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're new to the show, welcome. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Also, if you're new to the show, welcome. We invite you to stick around a while. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube. We invite you to like on Facebook, and we invite you to follow on Twitter. Grump, we've got a lot to talk about today.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I was notified at 9 o'clock. I didn't send you enough things. I sent you 6 things. That wasn't enough because TJ once again, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. You're not going to talk about this. And then so I sent him another 6 or 7 things. Here's the thing. TJ does nothing. Okay. I mean, but I come up with all the ideas.
You sound like you're stammering around all over the place.
No, I don't sound like I'm stammering around.
A bit, just a bit, Grumpy.
Let's wait till we get to the comments, and then let's hear you stammer around. Because I've already seen something that you won't be able to pronounce already.
Shit, you can't even pronounce the word pronounce. Anyway, today's show, we're going to be Grumpy. What a way to start the show, huh? Today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about Roger Goodell's comments about Deshaun Watson. We're going to be talking about the unfortunate injury to maybe what could have been the best offensive lineman in the history of the sport of football. Mekhi Becton, of course.
That pig.
We're going to talk about.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming from 100 miles away.
We're going to talk about Robin Lehner being out for the entire 2022-2023 season. What are the Vegas Golden Knights going to do and how that affects the NHL? We're going to be talking as well, Grumpy Old Man, about we're going to be talking about Bill Russell's number 6 being retired around the NBA, Grump. And also we're going to talk about an appearance there by Malik Willis, a rookie quarterback here this year for the Tennessee Titans. What expectations are for a young man like that? So, Grump, let's talk a little bit about Mekhi Becton, right? I feel like that's going to be the first thing we talk about. Mekhi Becton fractures his knee, and he is unable to play this year. He's out with a season-ending knee injury.
What did I talk about? The weeks leading up to the draft night for the Jets. What did I talk about? And you kept on telling me I was wrong. I was wrong, as usual. I'm right, of course, because fat boys always hurt. Too fat to walk without breaking kneecaps. He's too fat. I'm sorry. He's a big fat slob. He's never going to play.
He fractured his kneecap. It could have been a lot of different things. He could have fallen to the ground like that. Maybe he was leaning too far. I don't know how he fractured his kneecap, but that's not a fat injury, bro.
Bob, wonder how he broke his kneecap? Leaning over for another bag of freaking chips. That's how he broke his kneecap.
Oh.
He sucks. I'm sorry. And what did I say they should have done? What did I say, TJ? Draft an offensive lineman. You want to get yourself a cornerback and a wide receiver. What's the most important thing? The quarterback. What's the most important thing you have to do as a team? Protect your quarterback. They put all their eggs in the fat boy basket, and it had a hole in the bottom just leading to his mouth and to his stomach. That's all it did. This guy's a lazy pig. He's fat. We saw him in McDonald's blocking that little kid to the ground. That's the toughest he ever was. Why? Because someone was getting his double cheeseburger or whatever the hell he eats.
Oh, man.
He's, like I said, bust. Captain Bust. He sucks.
Here's the thing. I think when healthy, he's very talented.
When's he ever been healthy? The only time he's ever been healthy is when he's got his fat ass inside of a refrigerator. That shit ain't stopping. Okay, let's say he's got now a fractured kneecap. That means he's going to be off his leg for a while. What's he going to weigh? 6-7 bills by the time he gets able to rehab that knee? He's done. He sucks. Bye-bye. They have to draft tackles. I draft fucking 3 of them. 3 offensive tackles next year. First, second, and third round picks. Why? Because this fat pig cannot play. Period. I told you it was going to happen. So obvious. Just look at him.
He's skinny, Grumpy. He came in really good shape too.
He came in weighing 7,000 pounds. Now, where does this guy even get weighed? Truck stop? I mean, it's not like he used a regular scale. Boop, boop. Whenever he backs up, whenever he goes into his kick slide coming back, boop, 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 because that's what he's like. He's like a big truck moving backwards.
Oh, man.
Got to have the lights on. Woo, woo, woo.
I'll say this.
1 week. 1 week in the camp. 1 week. Walking.
That's not how he broke his knee, fractured his kneecap. It wasn't walking.
What was he doing? Standing?
No, he was out there, I'm sure, at practice, and he broke it.
Doing nothing. He was doing, like I said, he was going for, food truck, dashing over to the food truck during the middle of practice. Fractures his kneecap. I bet you crawled his ass over to that food truck to get whatever the hell he ate over there.
I think you've already kind of answered it. I was going to say, I'm not ready to throw his career's over tag on him just quite yet.
How many years has he not played in the league now? Is this going to be 3, right? 3.
His first year he played.
He didn't play the whole year. He was hurt the first year too.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. The guy's always been hurt. You want to know why? Because he's too fat. He's a big fat slob. All he wants to do is eat. I'm surprised we don't see him on 4th of July, honestly, challenging Joey Chestnut for the championship.
It was during an offensive line drill on Monday that he fractured his knee.
Yeah, probably a walkthrough.
Yep. Highly doubtful. Yeah, it's a shame. And when healthy, he's a very, very talented player. It's all about the health for him. Last year, you're right, he did show up out of shape. This year, he looked in shape. He looked like he had put the work in on the offseason. And it's unfortunate sometimes, even with the work you put in, you get injured. And, I'm not willing to put he'll never play again or the bust tag all over him. But it's
3 years
close. I'm
3 years of floppitude. 3 years of floppitude isn't enough for you to call him a bust. Okay. First round draft pick. Here's the thing. You know what they're not going to do? They're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. You could just guarantee that. They might let him, see what he can do next year. They'll probably try to kick him inside the guard.
He played 14 games and started 13 his rookie season. He played
so
one game his second year before he went ahead and tore his ACL, I believe. Okay. And then he didn't make it out of camp this year.
So out of a possible 50 games, he played 14. Okay, sorry.
He's only 23 years old.
I don't care. He eats like a guy who's 70. He weighs so much that he eats like somebody who's been eating for 70 years. And he packed it all into 23 years. That's what he looks like. His whole job is getting in shape, and he can't do it. He can't do it. Like I said, when you're driving on the highway and you got to stop at a weigh station on I-95 because there's too much weight in that car and you got to pay tolls. Well, that tells you all you need to know about that guy.
I'll tell you this. He's so young. I do worry though that if he has another injury of any sort of circumstance and of any substantial injury, I think you could put bust on him, even though he's 23 years old.
I've already done that. Matter of fact, he was that after last year. I told you that. Too fat to play in the league. Too fat to play in the league. What happens? How many games? Doesn't even make it out a week of spring training. Little jog, boop, done again. Sorry, too fat to play in the league. I don't know. Did they even announce his weight? Probably not, because numbers don't go that high. Did they just put like the little infinity sign on the side of his weight? 6 foot, 6'8", whatever, however tall he is. And for weight, they just do the infinity sign. I mean, when he steps on the scale, does it go? Does it look like something like that? That's what I want to know. Is it like pulling down a slot in Las Vegas? You pull down, you see the brrr, brrr. You know how those numbers just roll up? That's what it looks like. Joker, or bust. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, that's in shape. Look at that. His shirt can't even tuck in. It's hanging out about.
That's how it usually is for offensive line.
That shirt is hanging out 4 inches from his belly. And that's probably like a 12X shirt that he's wearing. And still, he can't get it to cover his gut. And this is him in shape. This kid's weighing 5 bills. Look at him.
And this is Joseph who sent this to me. So thank you, Joseph, for sending this to me. Let's take a look here, Grumpy. Let's see this injury.
New York Jets right tackle Mekhi Becton injured his right knee during practice Monday. The former first-round pick had surgery on that same knee and missed 16 games last season. Coach Robert Saleh said the injury doesn't appear to be severe, but Becton will have an MRI. New York Jets right tackle Mekhi Becton injured.
Man, he was doing a reach drill right there and just popped his freaking knee, just fractured his kneecap.
And look at right knee. That's probably full speed for him, and it looks like about a quarter speed for everybody else.
I'll be honest with you, that's not a good looking injury to have, especially the way he injured it.
Just
I don't know.
Walking. He probably, you know what? Here's the thing: he faked the injury on the field because he heard it walk into the fridge to eat a gallon of ice cream. I've known people who've done that before. Gallon of ice cream, probably passed out on his couch the night before. That's what with a bag of chips open and probably a spoon still in his mouth.
Yeah, I'll tell you, oof. I'm just looking at that injury, Grump. My gosh, oof. I'm starting to worry. Maybe I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the bust written all over him right now.
I've already told you he's a bust. Too fat to play in the league. Your job is predicated on you getting in shape. He's a guy who made some money. All of a sudden, woo, hey, I made it.
He was big in Louisville. He was big at Louisville, though, too.
Okay, big deal. He's playing against guys who are 225 pounds.
Okay. I'm just telling you, he was always big at Louisville. He's always been a big guy. He's played big. He's moved when he's big. That's just what he is.
And here's the most important thing. What did I say the Jets should have done in the draft? What should they have done?
You said stupid. You wanted Aquana. You wanted Akeem Aquana. You thought he was the best offensive tackle in the draft. And I said,
I said they should draft an offensive tackle.
I said, no, Grumpy. Evan Neal's head and shoulders better than any other offensive lineman in this draft. Whoa, no, Akeem Aquana. I said, okay.
Well, here's the thing. That kid's going to be on the field day one. This pig will not be on the field. Sorry, you made a mistake. Another Jet mistake. They had to draft an offensive lineman in the first round. You have to protect the most valuable player on your team.
Well, let's talk about it. They went ahead and signed Dwayne Brown, Grumpy.
How old's he? How old is he? He's finished.
Too damn old. I saw that signing. I thought to myself, I'm like, oof. You know what this is? This is one of these reactionary moves. They gave him a 2-year contract, 2-year, $22 million contract. I was
this is the New York Islanders signing Nazem Kadri. That's what this is. Signing Dwayne Brown. That's exactly what that is. 5-time Pro Bowl. That's way in the past. You know how I know? If he was any good, he'd already be on somebody's team.
I was about to say, Dwayne Brown has been finished for a while. He's a guy. He's 30. He's going to be 37 at the start of the year.
But you want to hear something? He's still an improvement over Mekhi Becton.
Oh, come on.
Still, he's a better player than Becton.
He was actually a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle for the Seahawks last year.
Okay.
It doesn't mean anything. It's a fan vote, and still the Seahawks sucked last year. So
I don't care what the fans think. I told you what was going to happen. Grumps told you what was going to happen with this guy. I told you he was he's just injury prone, injury waiting to happen. And they're all fat related injuries, every single one. Walking, blowing out knees, tearing feet, because he's too fat. His frame cannot support that girth, that massive humanity that is his body. Cannot do it. And he was in shape. My God, what does he look like out of shape?
He looks like a disgusting pig out of shape.
That's what he looked like there.
No, he looked like he was just a little.
He looked like Jabba the Hutt.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it, Grump.
Beck the butt.
Oh, man. Joseph C. said, you're right again, Grump. Sucks for the Jets. They lost Mekhi Becton, but he has to get his weight down big time. I think the Jets give him one more go next year. Excited about Dwayne Brown signing, though.
Yeah, Dwayne Brown is just all right, we got to bring somebody in. Because we put our eggs in the fat boy basket, and he ate all the eggs, shells and all.
Oh man. Well, Tony Cheese says, I'm sorry. Tony the Eunuch says, I've made the sacrifice and I believe we'll be winning the Stanley Cup this year. Well, the funny thing is, Grumpy, Tony the Eunuch, actually, believe it or not, he actually has pull inside the Islanders organization, which I was shocked about. Him and I wound up having a talk last night. He was messaging me, kind of giving his sources. He was able to get some inside information. I remember we were talking a little bit about, Ledecky and Malkin, worried about ownership might be selling. Well, Grumpy, Tony Cheese has got me. He sent me, look at this. Who are these guys, Grumpy? It's Ledecky and Malkin, Property Brothers, Grumpy. They've got a famous TV show called Property Brothers. It's Ledecky and Malkin.
Impressive.
That's
Who
it.
knew?
Nothing more than impressive. That's just a little chuckle from you, huh?
I'm just saying no one watches that show because I didn't know they were even on it.
Tony, I thoroughly enjoyed the Photoshop, but I'm glad Grumpy just said, "Who knew?"
I didn't know they were on that show. I did not know.
John M said, "Good evening, boys. Good evening, John. What's up?" Drew L said, "Becton is still searching for the breakfast. Where's the breakfast at?
Where's the beef?"
Oh, man, we've got the beef. Joseph C says, looking forward to the Jets preseason opener tomorrow. I know the results don't mean much, but still excited to see the strides that Wilson makes.
What could have been for the Jets? Another what could have been season. I mean, he's looked okay in training camp, but, now you don't have the big fat slob playing right tackle. He was drafted to be left tackle, right? Moved into right tackle, can't ever stay on the field. Next year, they'll try to kick him inside. He'll get hurt again, and that'll be that. He'll be out of the league. He'll be like Jamarcus Russell.
No,
you're right. He's worse than Jamarcus Russell.
No, he was actually good. When healthy, he played well. He'll be like
Greg
Oden.
No, stop.
Greg Oden was a guy whose career was derailed by injuries. John M. said, Vegas' general manager McPhee is not looking so smart now. Everybody loved him when he had 3 years to hold teams over a barrel to get their high cap players with first-round picks. Not so much anymore.
True. Vegas in trouble. I think there's a disconnect between ownership and the front office and the players and coaches. That's why it's so important to get the right mix coming in. They did go to a Stanley Cup final, though.
Let's talk about that. Mr. B says, Robin Lehner, I see a huge opportunity for the Islanders to move Varlamov to get legit gains back in return. Picks, legit prospects coming back, and $5 million of clear cap space.
I don't think Lamoriello wants to move Varlamov. He wants his tenure to be a total failure. So we're not going to move aged backups where it could help our team. Why would we do that? That makes too much sense.
What do you think? Here, let me ask you this, Grumpy. If Vegas doesn't get Varlamov, I feel like Varlamov is the best goalie out there who is possibly available. I feel like this could be a lost season for Vegas, don't you? I mean, the goalie situation was already a question mark with Robin Lehner in that. If you don't get a guy like Varlamov, I think you're in turmoil as to what's going to happen in net for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah. I mean, now the goalie carousel's kind of ended.
And a lot of teams have made moves where they've paid a premium they've paid a premium, and I mean a freaking premium to get a goalie this offseason.
I'm going to say the same thing I said about Johnny Boychuk when he had the eye injury and couldn't play. And Lamoriello did not foresee that, didn't know, was too dumb, wasn't creative enough to put him on long-term injury, so he could have kept Devon Taves. Did the Vegas Golden Knights not know about Robin Lehner's injury? They had to know. It's not like he didn't Mekhi Becton his injury. I'm sure he wasn't walking out to the mailbox to get, his latest food package from his mom, double, triple cheeseburgers and pizza with everything on it. I don't know. But how do you not know that this goalie had an injury? How did you not know? I mean, and that's those hip injuries for NHL players are death. They're death.
For goalies, especially when you're very, hip mobility and flexibility are two of the most important things that you bring to the table. If you're unable to move and you don't have that mobility factor, you're really going to struggle in net.
I think it's the worst injury for hockey players are hip injuries.
It's the worst injury for a goalie too.
But there's so much, pivoting and flipping your hips and stuff like that. where, other injuries like where you got to plant the foot, knee injuries, that's death for football players. But hip injuries for hockey players, man, they're bad. I don't know anybody who's really successfully come back from one and been the same player they were before. Not one.
Yeah. Well, and just to kind of get to the point I want to talk about here. Do you think and you said you don't think Varlamov's going to be on the move?
I don't think so. That's what a good GM would do. I don't think Lamoriello's going to do that.
Okay. I think it's the right thing to do, but I'd be interested to see what we do because he's mentioned before he wants the 1-2 goalie tandem. I'm not in favor of it just because you can't pay a backup goalie $5 million and pay him more than a starter. Free up that cap space, get some draft capital back in return. But you and I both know if we do that, we're just going to simply flip that draft capital for another asset. Anyway, Alexander says here, well, Grump, the whole Mekhi Becton being overweight was a smokescreen.
No, I think he was overweight. Looking at that picture, he was overweight.
Yeah, I don't think so. Again, you think that's bad on a shape? It's not. Joseph said, I sent you the video. Thank you for Joseph for sending that to us. Christopher C. saying here, isn't the Watson problem a Cleveland Browns problem? Don't know why everybody else has to be involved in this.
I don't.
Talking about Goodell coming up, the NFL trying to petition. Christopher, we're going to talk about that here in a bit because we got a whole little segment there on it. And he says, wrong, Grumpy, quarterback isn't the most important position. All of them are. One can't function without the other.
Quarterback's the most important position in sports, period.
I'd say the NFL for certain.
I'm going to say in sports. The only one even close is goaltender in hockey. That's it.
Brian J says, go G-Men. Drew L says, according to TJ's logic, Becton too big. Whatever. He's all right. Chacon Barkley, Breeze. Just Breeze. I freaking hate him. He's a bust. Trade him.
Yeah. Very good, Drew. Nice picking up on that.
Drew, you and your logic. Anyway, yeah, I think that the guy, yes. Mekhi Becton is dangerously close to be labeled as a bust. I think you still have value in a guy like Barkley. That's why I'm in favor of trading him. No need to keep.
He's not getting traded. He's the feature back. He's going to get who knows how many touches this year. He's a year out from the knee surgery. He's going to have a bounce back year.
Yeah, okay. We'll see about that one.
Okay.
Brian J says Evan Neal looks good. I'm telling you, he's a really good offensive lineman. Better pass blocker than a run blocker, but that was the best offensive lineman, the most polished offensive lineman, the guy I thought who had the highest ceiling too as an offensive lineman.
He's a better run blocker than pass blocker right now. But here's the thing. He was the pick that the Jets should have made.
He's the pick that the Panthers should have made.
He's the pick that the Jets should have made at number 4. The Jets should have made him the pick at number 4, not the cornerback.
Every team that had an offensive tackle in mind and didn't select one before the Giants made a mistake on not selecting Evan Neal.
The biggest mistake was the Jets. They were the first team that was going to take a lineman, an offensive lineman. They were the first ones up, especially when the fat kid was your 1A. You know you need somebody else. How much better would you feel about the Jets today if they had drafted Evan Neal and, tried to kick the fat kid to the inside? So what? If he gets hurt, I don't really care. You can plug anybody on the inside. It means you can't hack it on the outside. How much better as an organization you think the Jets would feel if they had Evan Neal with the 4th overall pick and then got the wide receiver at number 10?
That means you were banking on a guy who was 1 year out of the first time he's ever been injured. You're banking on him getting injured again. How the hell does that make sense?
He's been injured the last 2 years. This is 3 years in a row. Every year he's been hurt.
Grump. We just went over this earlier. He started in 13 games.
He was hurt in his first year, too. He was hurt in his first year. He was hurt in his first year. Hurt in his first year.
He won the starting spot in his first year. What do you?
He was hurt in his first year. He was hurt in his first year.
He had to win the starting spot.
They gave it to him because he was the first pick in the draft. He was their first round pick.
He was not the first pick in the draft.
Their first pick. He was the first pick for them. They gave him the spot. The second year he plays what? 1 game before he's out again. Now he doesn't play at all. He was hurt his rookie year. He was hurt his rookie year too. Hurt.
Oh my God, he was not. Grumpy.
Was.
If he was injured, right? He missed 2 fucking games. He played in 14 games. There's 16 games that time period in the league. All right, you're acting like he's injury prone, right? You can't
say injury prone.
Hold on. Now you can say that. You couldn't say he's injury prone by saying, "Oh, he missed 2 games his rookie year and had an ACL injury." That doesn't designate you as injury prone because you have an ACL injury.
He didn't have an ACL.
But he tearing his knee last. No, it's not his first year. Second year we're talking about right now, Grump.
They're all feet.
Second year is the only year he got injured.
Okay, too fat to play in the league. Bottom line, too fat to walk. He has to have a damn walker. He's going to have a wheelchair. You know, one of those things like where he puts it and he goes like this with the little arms and the little ski poles. That's Mekhi Becton's future right there. Too fat to play in the league. Too fat coming out of college. Too fat when he joined the Jets. Even fatter the next year. This year, supposedly in shape, still looks like a pig. Hurts himself jogging. That was a jog. That wasn't even a full play.
It's not a jog. It was a reach block there, Grump.
Yeah, okay. How fast was he moving? If you timed him in the 40, what was it? You need a sundial for that? Because it was slow as shit.
Are you?
He's out. He's out. He's out.
Stop talking.
Okay,
you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're talking about a reach. You're talking about a reach block.
Do you think that the Jets regret not drafting Evan Neal with that number 4 pick?
No.
No? You're full of crap.
Here's the thing.
Full of crap.
Here's the thing. You failed to actually put yourselves in the Jet. You failed to put yourself in the Jets mindset.
I did put myself in the Jets mindset.
Grumpy. Please be quiet for 5 seconds and let me speak. Holy shit. You are forgetting at the time period when Mekhi Becton was drafted, he had missed 2 games his rookie year. He played in 14 of the 16 regular season games. And his second year in the league, he tore his ACL. So you're telling me a guy who was healthy his first year and played well.
He wasn't healthy. He was hurt his first year. I don't care if he was in games. He was hurt. He was in and out of the lineup all year because he was hurt. He had foot issues. All year he was injured with the feet. All freaking year. Or the shoulder. The kid's injury prone.
Are you done? You don't let me finish.
No, because you're misrepresenting what actually happened.
He was injured. So the guy who was injury prone made sure to play 14 games this last year. Oh, wow.
He didn't play. What did he play last year? 1 game last year?
2 years ago. His rookie year. The one where he was healthy that you're trying to characterize him as injury prone that year.
That's right.
He played 14 games. Grump. Well, it's like saying if Tom Brady plays on a torn MCL like he's done before, oh, man. If that was his first year and he tore his ACL the year after, he's injury prone. Hold on. He played through an injury. Hold on. An NFL player played through an injury. He's injury prone. Just stop. He was able to suit up out there and get out in the game. The first year, not injury prone. The second year when he tore his ACL, that's an injury. If you're able to suit up out there and fucking play the game, you're not injured enough to not play.
He's going to wind up in 3 years. In 3 years, he's going to play 14 games. He's injury prone. I'm going to tell you again. I put myself in the Jets' perspective. I said they need to draft an offensive tackle because you can't trust the fat pig on the outside. And I was proven right 1 week into training camp.
God almighty.
I'm right.
You asked me in the Jets' perspective, what would I do? At the time period they had the draft. This is a guy who was healthy his rookie season and then tore his ACL his second year. I would not have said, let me go ahead and draft another offensive tackle because the offensive tackle we just had tore his ACL. I don't do that. When Saquon Barkley tore his ACL his second year in the league, you didn't see the Giants say, oh, wow, he missed some games his first year and Barkley tore his ACL the second. We got to draft another running back.
Here's the difference. Saquon Barkley was the best running back in the league his rookie year. He won Rookie of the Year. He was all pro his rookie year. He was Mr. Everything.
I'm using it as an example.
This kid can't stay on. I told you this was going to happen. I predicted it again. Here's the thing. You could be an NFL GM because there are a bunch of dumbass ex-jocks who don't know what the hell they're doing. Because if the Jets knew what they were doing, they would have drafted a lineman. Because Evan Neal is infinitely better than Mekhi Becton. Best player available. Now you're scrambling for somebody who's 37 years old because you didn't have the foresight to see, guess what? This fat pig who has weight issues can't stay on the field. This is the guy we're putting all our eggs in that basket. And how did it turn out?
There
You're
were
seeing it
six.
right now.
There were 6 teams who didn't think that Evan Neal was the best player available. Hell, one team didn't even think he was the best offensive lineman available. Grump, I could see he was the best offensive lineman available, but guess what? When people look for potential and other items, they don't draft the player who, at the time period, is the best player available. Okay, again,
They
you're
needed
gonna find
offensive line.
really. Here we
The
go.
Jets
again.
needed
Interrupt.
offensive line.
Here we go. Interrupting. again.
Here's the thing. You like Mekhi Becton. You hate Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has been, for his pro career, has been infinitely better than Mekhi Becton. If he only plays that 1 year, his whole career in that 1 year is better than Mekhi Becton's whole career because that kid is going to bust out of the league. Guaranteed. Bust out.
Am I able to speak now? You're going to run over me again because you can't
I don't
control
know.
yourself like a child.
I haven't decided yet.
Ah, good gracious. Yeah, hopefully you can control yourself. As I'll say again, 1 year of injury and the 2 years he's been in the league.
He was hurt the first year too. I don't care if he was in 14 games. He was hurt. He was in and out of the lineup. He had the shoulder injury. He had the groin injury. He was always hurt. The kid was always hurt, always dinged up. I'm sorry. You're misrepresenting that first year. I watched them that first year.
Being hurt and being banged up are two fucking different things. Here's a newsflash for you, Grump, because you've never played any sport beyond fucking T-ball, okay? Guess what? If you have a 55-man roster in the NFL, there are about, towards the tail end of the year, 25 to 30. Over half the team is nursing some sort of niggling injury and some sort of bump and bruise that is affecting them from being 100%. Guess what? Mekhi Becton was one of those over half the NFL players. And to say, oh, his shoulder's a little banged up. Oh, his ankle's a little hurt. That's correct, Grumpy. Niggling injuries happen. It doesn't mean that he was freaking hurt, though. When you're able to suit up out there and play the game, being a little bit in discomfort because you're injured or a little bit banged up is not the same as being you're so badly injured where you can't suit up out there on the field. The NFL is a sport to where, and all professional sports, you battle through injury every single freaking week.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's another thing I don't like about Mekhi Becton. Lets himself get over 400 pounds on the field.
Okay.
Guess what? That tells me all I need. That if I'm a GM and a coach, the kid isn't dedicated enough to keep himself under 400 pounds. I'm sorry. You have to plan for that.
So if he was like, let's say 370.
That's
pounds,
still too much.
Hold on.
They don't want him playing at 370.
Let's say he was 370 pounds before the draft. He looked in good shape. I don't care what you're saying. He didn't look 400 pounds.
He wasn't 370. He was like 350 at the combine. He let himself balloon to well over 400. Well over 400.
Okay.
That kid's probably a quarter of a ton right now.
What I'm saying, a quarter of a ton,
That's
500 pounds. I know, Grumpy. But here's the thing. If you're the general manager, you see Mekhi Becton's rehabbing his ACL injury, and he's okay. He at one point was 400 pounds. Now he's got himself. Hold on.
His injury wasn't an ACL. Look that up.
Okay, Grumpy, give me a sec.
I mean, here's the thing. The kid's just an injury waiting to happen. I saw it from a mile away. 10 miles away. You can tell. I mean, just can't do the job. I don't think he's not dedicated enough. Your job is predicated on staying in shape. He can't do it. He doesn't have the will or the desire. He got the money. He's happy. Sorry. I mean, every injury is weight related. Every single one he's had, weight related. Too fat. And he doesn't take care of himself. That's just a recipe for disaster. I'm going to tell you what, the Jets are absolutely looking and saying, you know what? Yep, we should have went with Evan Neal. I called it on draft night. I called it before the draft. I was shocked they didn't take Evan Neal. Shocked.
Okay, let's see. Got to keep scrolling. He tore his MCL. He tore his knee. He tore ACL is on the outside, MCL is on the inside. So he tore his MCL. Okay? He tore a knee ligament. Is that better for you? He tore a knee ligament. Same fucking thing. Tore knee ligament, unable to play.
Tom
For our
Brady was
intents and
able to play,
purposes, tearing an ACL and an MCL both results in a season-ending injury and a tear of your knee.
Tom Brady played through it. Brady played through it for years.
Quarterbacks don't have to do much but throw.
Years.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anyway, so when you're in a movement position like this, Grumpy, and your legs are moving like this, you kind of need that collateral ligament right there on the inner part of your knee. You kind of need that as an offensive lineman. As a quarterback, when you're sitting back in there throwing and using your arm and driving on the ball, it's not as necessary. Obviously, it'd be nice to have good MCLs and ACLs across the board for all athletics, but tore his knee. Same freaking thing. Tore his knee his second year. I'm not listing him as injury prone at that point, but now, right? He's got an injury prone tag on him.
No shit. I told you he was injury prone. I told you that. I called him injury prone before this year. You can tell. Everything is weight related with this guy. Everything. I'm sorry. He's a bust. He's a big fat bust. He just proved me right. As soon as I saw him blocking the McDonald's, I knew it was over for him.
Okay. Let's get back here to this. Everything looks good. Daniel Jones, 7-year extension. LOL, says Frank K. Brian J says he is no Evan Neal, Mekhi Becton. Evan Neal's very polished offensive lineman. Brian J also says he will play for the Dolphins where careers die. Oh, Brian J already mixing it up early. Frank K says here, just end the season. Woody Johnson should focus on the next Band-Aid product. Worst owner.
I don't think he's the worst owner, but and honestly, I don't hate the Jets or what they've done, but I thought it was dumb that they didn't draft an offense. I thought Evan Neal was perfect for them. I thought that was the man for them to take. They didn't do it. You reap what you sow. And I guarantee they're regretting it. Could we have had Evan Neal, who has Pro Bowl potential? No.
If they knew, guess what, Grumpy? If they could have ticked the clock forward 4 fucking months after the NFL draft in April and said, oh, hold on a second. Oh, Mekhi Becton is going to fracture his kneecap and be injured for the second year in a row, I'm sure they would have liked to go ahead and select that. At the time, they had no idea he was going to fracture his kneecap. They didn't know he was an injury-prone guy. You didn't know that at the time period.
Okay.
You claim, oh, I know. But, Grumpy, that's why you make some dumb freaking asinine.
I'm right all the time. I'm right all the time.
You're not right all the time.
I'm right.
You're wrong so many times I can't even keep up with the amount of times that you're freaking wrong on, huh?
I'm right again. Yeah, I was right on this kid. I told you. Here's the thing. I could see it. How come they couldn't see it? Why couldn't the GM see that this guy was a bust?
It's like when the sun shines on a dog's ass twice a day, Grump.
That's when you're. Here's the thing.
That's you,
It's raining. It's raining because you're never right. The sun never shines on your ass because you're wrong every single time.
Yeah. Frank K says Tyrod Taylor should start over Daniel Jones.
No, never.
Oof. I want him to play poorly. Let Daniel Jones just play poorly. Brian J says, I agree, Frank. And I didn't really see Thibodeau play today. I wonder why. Yet.
The Patriots didn't play any of their starters today.
A lot of teams aren't, right? You look at the matchup between the Titans and the Ravens, right? You didn't see a lot of starters in that matchup either.
I think for the Patriots, a little bit different since they're trying a whole new offense this year, and they've not been able to do anything in training camp.
They probably want to keep a lot of that stuff under wraps. Just FYI.
Well, all right, not being able to get plays off. They went 11 straight plays without gaining a yard against second-string defense, first-team offense earlier in the week. That tells me. I don't know, whatever you're keeping under wraps, but it ain't working.
Takes a lot. It takes the offense longer to click than the defense. It's that simple. And if the defense is really stout, don't be shocked.
Mac Jones, big step back this year.
Okay.
Big step back.
And when you're wrong about as you're wrong about Baker Mayfield and you're wrong about so many stupid
first
out over here, I just don't forget, Grumpy. Don't forget. I won't forget to mention it to you every time you're wrong. Joseph C said, I don't worry about Brown or Dwayne Brown so much because all he has to do is be decent. He's not protecting Wilson's blind side. Yep, he's going to be playing right tackle. So.
I think if he was decent, somebody would have picked him up already.
Or he was asking for a lot. That's kind of what it looks like to me. I mean, shit, you bring in a guy who's a 37, 38, or however old he is, 37, 38 years old, offensive tackle on a 2-year, $22 million deal. I mean, that's a lot to pay for a guy who's at the tail end of his career who should be looking for freaking pennies.
Yeah, nobody knows what the base salary is, what's guaranteed. Nobody knows. It could be all backloaded and they cut him after 1 year. We don't know. We don't know yet. It's all about the guaranteed money and the first year. Because, I mean, he will be here the whole year. Unless he's really bad and they just cut him. But I'm sure they guaranteed him some money. But the $22 million means nothing. It means nothing.
Yeah, they don't have anything out yet. I was checking to see if they had anything. Not quite yet. We got a comment here from Tony the Eunuch saying the signing isn't that bad. It's only 2 years and they're taking the rebuild slow. It's just a Band-Aid. I don't dislike the signing. I just don't expect this to be the Dwayne Brown of old. Right? They needed to protect Zach Wilson. I don't dislike the signing at all. I mean, that's the biggest thing is making sure you provide making sure you provide the quarterback some time back there in the pocket. Just don't expect this to be the Dwayne Brown of old. Don't expect it. I'm shocked he made the Pro. I didn't know he made the Pro Bowl. I didn't watch any of those Seattle games because it was a miserable team to watch. Well, but I guess he maybe was one of the half shining lights in that freaking dreary area.
Most of the Pro Bowlers don't go anyway. And I think it was a two-hand touch game. So that's what it was last year. Two-hand touch, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was like two-hand touch.
Ugh. Tony the Eunuch says Ledecky is a snaggletooth. He also says you miss every shot you don't take. Not everything is going to be a home run with Grumpy Carlin over here. Yeah, I was about to say, someone pissing in his Cheerios. He's all upset about Mekhi Becton. Look at you.
If they just would have listened to me, they'd be way better off. That's all I'm saying.
Brian
you
J.
see it. You see it once again.
Brian J. says Islanders are lost, just like the Jets. The owners suck. Clueless. Frank K. said, I predicted 4 to 5 years ago, once Belmont came into play, that the owners would sell 2 years after the arena opened. Like the song says, go on, take the money and run.
How does the song get sing? How's it sing?
Go on, take the money and run. I know the song sung, but
do you know who sings that?
And take the money and run.
Do you know who sings that?
Johnny Cash, right?
No. Steve Miller Band.
GS Vlog says, hello, red t-shirt bastard. That's at you, Grumpy. Yeah, screw you, bastard. That's, I think, what he meant to say. He said it a little too nicely. Frank K said, they got their Belmont payday, 2 years, the hotel or no hotel. It's over. MSG buyout coming the following year. Eviction by Dolan's boys at OVG. Or yeah. So, just ordered a Joe Morris jersey, Grump.
You know Joe Morris is?
Couldn't tell you.
Number 20 for the Giants, was part of that first Super Bowl team, 1986.
So well before my time. And Brian J said, cannot wait to get my fisherman jersey.
I want to say I want the white. I hope they have a white one. I don't necessarily like the blue. I like the white.
Frank says he needs some toilet paper. Maybe he can use that fisherman jersey. Christopher C says, as a Jets fan, offensive line is a concern for me. Hopefully, they can protect the quarterback, running back, and fullback.
Now you're putting a lot of eggs in the Dwayne Brown basket.
Joseph C said the Hurricanes are in trouble. They lost a lot of depth in the offseason. Now Pacioretty's out for 6 months with an ACL injury.
It's funny. We say that every single year for the Hurricanes,
and they
wind up being better every year somehow. I don't know how they do it.
And Frank K says, who's winning the title first? The Jets or the Leafs? That's a good question.
Leafs.
You think so?
I think the Maple Leafs are going to win playoff rounds this year.
Okay. No. They said win a title.
I know. The Jets
they win a playoff series.
The Jets aren't close to making the playoffs. Not in the AFC, they're not. Not for the foreseeable future.
I could see them being a playoff caliber team next year.
Not me.
I can definitely see that.
They need offensive linemen. They need an offensive lineman. Desperately, they need a tackle.
Mekhi Becton, I know you're listening to this show. You've heard the defense. I need you to go in this offseason. Get that kneecap. Get that knee. Unbelievably strong. I'm talking like freaking bedrock. Come in there next year to camp and show the grumpy old man.
He's going to be hurt again.
Mekhi Becton.
They'll kick him to the inside. They'll draft
They're not going to kick him to the inside.
They will kick him to the inside. They will kick him to the inside.
What makes you think they're going to kick him in the inside?
Because they're going to draft another tackle. That's what's going to happen. They'll put his fat ass inside. He'll get hurt again, and then that'll be it. That'll be it. And
So they won't even have a time to kick him to the inside.
Here's the thing. They're not picking up his fifth-year option. That will not happen. They're going to he'll go to somewhere else. He'll be too fat. He'll be out of the league.
Number 3. Hold on. This is only year number 3. They don't have to worry about picking up his 5th-year option until next offseason, bro.
They're not going to pick up his option. They're not going to pick up his 5th-year option.
If he's healthy next year and plays all games, I could definitely see him picking up.
They will not pick up his 5th-year option. I'm telling you that now.
Okay.
They will not pick up his 5th-year option. He will get hurt again. He'll kick inside to guard. That's what they're going to do. He cannot play tackle.
Brian J says, the Leafs. Okay, you're just flat wrong with that. Tony Duke said, are there any fullbacks in the league anymore? It's funny. Last fullback I feel like I can remember is like Sheldon Mack for the Seattle Seahawks. And maybe Kuhn. Kuhn is maybe the most recent one I remember for the Green Bay Packers.
James Devlin for the Patriots. Jacob Johnson plays that role for the Patriots. They're one of the only teams, not this year or hasn't been so far this year. They're one of the last teams to use an actual fullback.
Brian J says Barkley's a goner. Frank K said also sadly and a bust. Isn't that right, Grumpy?
They're talking about Becton. They're talking about Becton. Not talking about Barkley. They're talking about Becton.
Hold on. You think he's talking about Becton, but spelled it Barkley? What type of ridiculous narcissism you got going on in your head there to think you're right about that?
It just said bust. It didn't say Barkley was a bust. So I'm applying it to Becton.
Mr. B said, don't worry. We'll all be dead before either happens. The Leafs or the Jets winning the title. Oh, man. Christopher C said, this is the best TJ and the Grumpy Old Man podcast I've seen. Seeing you two clashing in a debate. Yeah, Grumpy doesn't know his shit. What can I say?
But I'm always right. I don't know my shit, but I'm always right.
You were right one time.
I'm always
one
right.
Freaking time. Yeah, okay. How is that Baker Mayfield take going? Are you still freaking going to die on that hill that he's going to come out there for Carolina and be a good quarterback? Or are you going to finally come around and think,
well, you know what? How about
which one are you going with, huh?
How about we actually let him play?
I said, which one? I said, are you coming over to my side? Are you thinking that he's going to be above average and a fantastic quarterback again? Again, he at best below average game manager. I don't know how you don't see that. And after again, it proves this year. I'll say that. Okay, after this year again, he gets proven again for me. I'll just happen to remind you every freaking week that the Carolina Panthers suck shit. I'll just remind you, it's a shit-eating grin on my face, Grumpy, just going,
they're not a great team.
It's a wonderful day in your neighborhood, Grump. How's your boy Baker doing?
Better than Mekhi Becton. That's how he's doing. Better than Mekhi Becton.
Dude, they're both not contributing. And guess what? At least one's not contributing due to injury. One with health is a million times better than the other.
He's already won the starting quarterback job. He's already won it.
Oh,
already won it.
What do you have to beat out of that quarterback group?
Sam Darnold.
Oh.
Guess where he came?
How was Sam Darnold as a quarterback?
Sam Darnold was better than Mekhi Becton too.
Is Sam Darnold a really tough quarterback competition at this stage in his career?
Probably not.
Yeah, the answer is absolutely not.
I'm just saying that you just hate Baker Mayfield, where I think he's certainly a top 15. He's top half of the league. I do believe that. I'm not saying he's the greatest.
Wow. Holy shit. Top half of the league. That's you're freaking
okay. Nuts. So that's above average. He's top 15. Nuts. That's above average.
He's in the bottom 10 of the NFL. He's going to be I'll take it one step further. 2 years from now, he'll be out of the league, or he'll be as a career backup. 2 years from now, a journeyman quarterback or career backup. Mark it down right now.
Okay. He'll be in the league 2 more years than Mekhi Becton will.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. He's in the league still right now. Anthony R says here. He said, Christopher C said, yes, he is grumpy. Johnson's done nothing for the Jets. Didn't even use the money to build us a stadium. Absolutely. He's the worst owner, Grump.
I don't think I think there are other owners who are pretty bad. How about the Jacksonville owner? Oof. I'm sorry. I mean, there's quite a few. Detroit.
But Dan Snyder as an owner. My God. Oof. There's a lot of bad owners you can have, So like
you have to hire the right GM. That's key. You have to hire the right GM, and they have to be able to hire the right coach. It's top down. If you're strong at the top, everything's built from top down structure. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying Woody Johnson's a great owner, but there are worse owners than he is.
What
about Cincinnati? What What about Mike Brown in Cincinnati? I mean, all right, they had some success last year, but it's like, they've been bad forever. You don't get a nickname you don't get called the Bungles, just for 1 or 2 bad years.
I got a question for you. I want to change it. You mentioned you think Baker Mayfield's the top half of the league quarterback. I say there's no way. Who would you rather have, Tua or Baker Mayfield? I actually probably would rather have Tua than Baker.
I wouldn't. Not me. You put Tua in that.
I would pick neither. I'd pick neither, but I probably would pick Tua over Baker.
If you put Baker Mayfield in that offense, he's a better thrower of the ball than Tua is.
When you think about it, right? Let's just count them on one freaking hand, all the quarterbacks that are better than Baker Mayfield, right? And we'll start off with the easy ones. Your Brady's, your Rodgers, your Josh Allen's, your Herberts, your Matthew Stafford's, your Joe Burrow.
Can we just say that I believe he's a top 15 guy and you don't?
I don't even know how you can believe that, Grump.
I do. I think if he's got the right weapons, I think he's better than Steve Tannehill. Absolutely, I do.
Ryan Tannehill,
whatever his name is, Ryan Tannehill.
What's
the difference? They both suck.
If you let me call through the list, you would have found out there's a lot more than 15 better quarterbacks than him. But you want to interrupt? That's no problem.
Kyler Murray's better than him.
Yeah, I was going to have him on that list. He's better than Baker. Yeah. Anthony R said, as a Jets fan, it really doesn't matter about Mekhi Becton. We have one of the hardest schedules this year. We're playing for a top 5 pick again. We'll get a tackle next year.
Obviously, Anthony agrees with me as well.
John M. said Dolphins, only undefeated team ever.
50 years ago.
Ryan.
Yep, 50 years ago. Here's the thing. They wouldn't have done that in the modern NFL.
Anthony R. said, as a Jets, Islanders, and Mets fan, thank God for the Mets this year. LOL. The Jets will win 5 games. Islanders don't even want to talk about them anymore. Come on, World Series champs, New York Mets.
I don't know who the Mets player was. Maybe it was Lindor or Escobar came out and said, we just come out to the field, out to the yard and play hard every day. I love that comment from him. They're not the Yankees slugging home runs. They just come out and they play hard every day. I 100% agree. I just don't know if the Mets can beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers are really freaking good.
They're on a 10-game winning streak, I think, right now, right?
I think they're 77-33. They're really good. They got everything. They're really, really good. And now they're starting to get some of their injured pitching back. They're good. They're good.
Got a comment here from Jewel said, yeah, let's go Grumpy. Let the sheep keep sleeping on Saquon Barkley.
I know what he's talking about.
Barkley. John M. says, I don't want to talk too much about the Mets winning World Series because every time I do, they choke. 87, 88, 2000, and the year versus against the Kansas City Royals. I think
2015. Okay. In 2000, they were not better than the Yankees. In 2015, Kansas City, they had those 3 relievers. You got to the 6th inning, that game was over. Kansas City was underrated that year. 88, that's the year they should have won. That was the year that the Dodgers, Earl Hershiser was fantastic, had something like 50 some odd innings of shutout ball in the regular season. And that's the one where Mike Scioscia broke our hearts. 87, where those damn Cardinals beat us. Just
us. Hold on, pump the brakes.
The Mets.
You're a freaking Jets fan. You're a Yankees fan. You said us.
I told you I like both teams. I've always liked the Mets and the Yankees.
Yeah.
One son likes the Mets, one son likes the Yankees.
Yeah, I'm a Mets fan. Your other son's a Yankee fan.
Yeah, that's right. I root for both teams. Nothing wrong with that.
Joseph C. said, I think the Jets are fine. Joe Douglas has some solid drafts and has had some solid drafts and made some good moves in free agency. Expectations aren't high this year, but they're moving in the right direction, in my opinion.
Agreed. I just thought I didn't think the cornerback was the need that they project. I just thought it was
Ahmad Sauce Gardner, Grump.
Yeah, I know. Played for Cincinnati. They were a step down from the big schools. They just are. But to me, it was paramount that they got an offensive lineman at number 4. That was just my opinion going into the draft, and I was just proven right. He's just better. Here's the thing. Evan Neal's just a better player than George Font or Mekhi Becton. That's why you take him.
Anthony R. says, Islanders, William DeFore has a goal and assist. Looking good. Him and Ratu putting up numbers.
All I want to say about that is they both put up numbers against Latvia. I don't know. I don't think Latvia is very good.
They're all playing against guys who are younger. I mean, they're at the top of the age bracket, too. They're doing well, but I am interested to see when the talent level gets notched up, how it looks when we've got a team like Finland who's playing Sweden, or a team like Canada plays U.S. I want to see kind of what their numbers look like and kind of the production we see from them on the ice.
Yeah, like I said, for me, I want to see him play some of the better countries.
Yes.
That's all.
Mr. B said, my son and I, we're going to podcast rather than listening to you go at it. I'm sure that's a good idea, with a smiley face. And Joseph C here says, the NBA just retired number 6 for all teams today in honor of Bill Russell. Cool company. He's joined in number 99 for Wayne Gretzky and number 42 for Jackie Robinson. Don't know why number 23 in the NBA isn't retired.
I don't know why number 3 isn't retired in baseball. If you're going to retire a number, it should be number 3 in baseball. Period. Probably the greatest American sports athlete of all time is Babe Ruth. Period. End of sentence, end of story. I don't understand why his number's not retired. And if you're going to retire numbers, why didn't you retire it while the guy was alive?
I don't get that either. It's one of those things where it's just like, well, now that he's dead, okay, we can immortalize him as a legend, or we can try to squeak out extra dollars or squeak out some extra little tribute to him. I'm like, exactly. It's like with Pete Rose. He won't make the Hall of Fame until he's dead. And you just think to yourself, I'm like, there's a lot of players. Like, I wonder if maybe A-Rod's going to make the Hall of Fame when he's dead. And Roger Clemens will make the Hall of Fame when he's dead. All these guys who used their steroids and had gaudy numbers, maybe they're only going to make the Hall of Fame when they're dead.
I don't want to get back in the steroid argument again, but it's like, okay, I'm not trying to put down Bill Russell, but does anyone ever say that Bill Russell is the greatest player who's ever played?
It's between Michael and LeBron. When everybody talks about the GOAT, some throw in occasionally a Kobe Bryant, but it's mostly between Michael and LeBron.
See, I throw Wilt Chamberlain for me. They had to change the rules of the game. I mean, here's the thing. I'm just not a big believer of retiring a number for a sport. I'm sorry.
You have to be so unbelievably good to have that number retired. Like Wayne Gretzky. Is Bill Russell for basketball in Wayne Gretzky's category for the NHL? I don't think so.
No. But still.
Not trying to diminish Bill Russell at all. But it's just like, if you're retiring a number, I think it should have been 23.
The greatest sports athlete of all time is Babe Ruth. It's Babe Ruth. He transcended sport. He transcended everything. The greatest baseball player who ever lived. It's not even close for second place. Not even close. To me, he's the greatest American athlete of all time. Think about what he did and how he surpassed everyone in the league. He hit more home runs. I know it's not all about home runs. He hit more home runs than all the teams in the American League one year, all by himself. Career 342 batting average. He was an absolute living legend. Why is his number not retired? I know why the other numbers are retired, but it's like, if you really want to retire a number league-wise, and I don't believe in that, that should just be a team thing. You have to retire Babe Ruth's number. Sorry.
And think about it, you're right. I think that's a good point. It wasn't like the league was focused and centered on hitting home runs at a time period when Babe Ruth was in the league. When he was knocking them out of the park, it wasn't like that was in commonplace. Him hitting home runs was not, you know what I mean? It was more of a rarity to see that many home runs hit. It's not like now we're looking at every single, or like a third of all at bats, or what is it? Like a third or half of all at bats, and then a home run, a strikeout, a home run over a strikeout, Grump.
Say that again, TJ. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, man.
Just say it again.
I said, what is it in the MLB? Where like a third of all at bats end in a strikeout or a home run?
Strikeout, home run, or walk.
You've got like a third of all at bats that end in that. And it wasn't like that at that time period.
If Babe Ruth was alive today, with the way the game is played, he'd probably have 100 home runs a year. This
Really?
is before, this was all before, the technical advances that they have, the loaded ball, steroids, he was fueled by hot dogs and beer.
They didn't juice the baseball back then.
No, absolutely. It was a dead ball. They called it dead ball era. He just, like I said, just the greatest American sports figure of all time, period. He's been dead for just about 75 years now. And people still, Babe Ruth. Everyone knows the name Babe Ruth.
Think about this.
Do you think everyone knows the name Bill Russell? Nope.
Probably not.
Do you think everyone knows the name Michael Jordan?
Yes.
Do you think everyone's going to know the name Michael Jordan in 50 years? I'm going to tell you the answer to the first question is no.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't. Absolutely no, they will not. They will not. Do you think everyone here's the thing, I think a lot of people remember the name Jackie Robinson.
Yes,
he was he was the first black athlete in American team sports.
Yeah.
19 whatever it was. I think even before football. But do you think anyone remembers Johnny Unitas? Does everyone remember him?
No.
No. But here's the thing. He was until 1980 the greatest quarterback of all time. Now the
game has changed. It wasn't like you were dropping back, throwing the ball 50, 60 times like guys do now. They surpassed Johnny Unitas with the freaking blink of their eyes regarding passing yards in a year.
He threw touchdowns in 47 straight games. Think about that. In a ball where it was running the ball all the time. When my dad said Johnny Unitas by far the greatest quarterback of all time. When I was a kid growing up, no one was as good as Johnny U. And just tells you he never transcended the sport. Michael Jordan never transcended the sport.
Oh, stop.
He doesn't. He didn't. He did not.
Oh,
here's the thing. If they didn't have the media coverage that they have now, no one would even know Michael Jordan 15 years from now. People know Babe Ruth, and there was no internet. There was no television when he was playing. He was just better than everybody else. The greatest American athlete of all time, period.
Think about the home runs hit, too, just to mention this. In 1918, played 95 games, hit 11 home runs. That led the MLB in home runs hit by batter. In 95 games, hit 11 home runs. In that same time period, he was hitting 50 home runs a year, where 11 was leading the league.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
He hit more home runs, I think, one year than every team in Major League Baseball. Him by himself led, like the Red Sox. He had more home runs than the whole Red Sox team, than the whole Philadelphia Athletics team. That's how good he was. Just different. You get a stadium named after you, the house that Ruth built. That's Yankees. The house that Ruth built. You get a stadium named after you? Sorry. That's what it was known as. Yankee Stadium was known as the house that Ruth built. You don't hear any athlete have that type of accolade, even today.
You're never going to see that type of stuff today.
You're not. Never.
Well, the times have changed.
True.
Frank K says Mets are superb at working up pitchers count at the pitchers count.
They're similar to the Yankees teams. I don't think they're as clutch, and their outfield isn't as good. But they're very similar to the Yankee teams of the late 1990s, 2000s.
John, I'm saying Grump, Goon, saying, was Barry's biggest blunder keeping Wahlstrom out of the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Lightning in favor for that fossil Travis Zajac?
I didn't think we were beating Lightning anyway. But it couldn't have hurt having a guy who put the puck in the net.
I was about to say it would have helped. Who knows how much, but I think it would have had some sort of positive impact. Joseph C. said, don't forget about the 06 Mets. They were hands down the best team in the majors that year. Losing Pedro and El Duque right before the playoffs killed them. I hate Yadier Molina forever.
They still weren't great. I didn't think the Mets were the best team that year.
Carlos Delgado was on that team in 06, right?
I don't know. I don't know if he was on that team.
Beltran was on that team too, I think, right? Beltran, Delgado. Man, I got to look at that 06 Mets.
Yeah, you'll need to look that up.
Man, that's really taking it back. I wish you could have talked there for a second,
Yeah,
but
okay. I don't know.
Anyway,
Just pop up,
don't worry. I've got it now, Grumpy. I don't need you now to
pop up another comment. That's all you need to do.
Do you understand when I'm looking something up, I can't pop another comment up because I'm going and actually looking something up. I can't do something on the same screen, but that's fine.
Why you're not capable of multitasking?
You can't go ahead and have the same screens up there, Grumpy, where I'm able to search on one tab and then pop a comment up on another. Goon says, Grump, please sing the rest of this tune.
Just like the
one. Dun, 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 keeps on thinking.
Ooh, baby, ooh, ooh. Yeah, that's.
Why don't you sing it, damn it, Grump? He wanted you to sing it.
That's stop. That's Stevie Nicks.
Okay, Grumpy, what is that request?
I don't know all the lyrics to that song. Stevie Nicks, though.
Do I have to go ahead and pull it up, Grumpy, so you could sing it out loud for us?
I don't have her voice. I gotta say that.
Grumpy, I know you know the words of this song because you sang this all the time back when I was a kid. Why don't you sing it?
Ooh, baby, ooh, ooh.
Why are you just sing a damn song?
I don't remember the lyrics. You're
bullshitting. That's Grumpy. I've never seen you shy away on this.
I don't remember the lyrics.
I think it's time that we retire your jersey. Your red jersey's going up in the rafters after this now, Grump. Joseph C. said, I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL universally retires number 12 one day.
That's no. Here's the thing. I'm a Brady fan. Still, no. Sorry, no.
John M. said, Grump, my dad back in Nova Scotia, is a Dodger fan. And when he wants to get under my skin, his go-to is Mike Scioscia home run. By the way, I have him watching your show next day. Too late in the Islanders. Oh, don't be
Nova Scotia to watch live.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Yeah, the Mike Scioscia home run, that was a kill. They were just better than the Dodgers that year. The Dodgers squeaked into the playoffs, and the Mets, man, they should have won that year. I'm sorry. The A's were really good. I mean, the Dodgers even winning the World Series was like, how the hell did they do that? That was as soon as Gibson hit that home run in game one, that was it. That just defeated the A's. They were too young, I think, at that particular time to win a championship. But hey, the Dodgers went out and won it. Let me just put it to you that way.
So I've got that 06 Mets team pulled up, Grumpy, and I had some good players on this squad. Now that I'm looking back on it, Paul LaDuca as the catcher for that short time period.
Oh yeah, Paul LaDuca.
They had Carlos Delgado at first base. I thought he was there. Jose Valentin, Jose Reyes, and you got the David Wright at third base, Cliff Floyd at left field, Carlos Beltran, Xavier Nady. Who doesn't remember Xavier Nady? And Andy Chavez, that fantastic catch. I remember they won the NLCS. You used to have the good old shirt of that. He made that huge catch, and he gunned somebody out who was rounded. I think he was on third. He'd gone from first to third. He guns him out there after he made that huge catch.
And they wound up losing Game 7 to the Cardinals.
Kazu Matsui was on the team then too. There was also could have been one of the greatest baseballers in all time. Probably could have dethroned Babe Ruth if everything panned out right for him. Lastings Millage was on that team too.
No comment.
No comment, Grump?
Nope.
I gave you an easy opportunity now.
Yeah, I'm not commenting on that. That's way too that'll take us to the end of the show.
Why don't you do whatever? I gave you an open opportunity, but that's fine.
How a fool and his money are soon parted.
What do you mean, Grump?
TJ, I remember they had I took TJ to a memorabilia store. My younger son was with us, and he saw.
Let's paint the picture. I was like 12 years old.
And I always let my kids, if they, earned money or spend it any way they wanted, I would try to steer them in the right direction, but certain members of the family just dumb as a freaking box of rocks. There was an autographed Lastings Millage card.
And it was one of those. Hold on, let me paint you what it looked like. It was a white card, a refractor, one of those shiny ones on top of it. Him swinging the baseball bat and a signature.
LM. That was the signature, probably because he didn't know how to spell the rest of his name or write it. So it was just like a big L and a big M.
Stop.
And TJ was all Mets all the time. And Lasting Millage was a bust, right? Let's be honest. He was the Mekhi Becton of the Mets.
Oh.
And that card was $60. I'm like, don't do it.
I do remember the exact price. It was $60.
Yeah, I remember it too because
at that time, back in like 2005, I remember I was like, holy shit, Lastings Millage. Oh man, that's a great card right there. $60 for a 12-year-old. There's a lot of money saved up right there. Ugh.
Do you regret spending the $60 on that card?
No, I really did enjoy that card. Absolutely not. I really enjoyed that card. Even though he never panned out, I'll never forget that story. I'll never forget the memory of buying that first card. Mario said here, according to those who saw both Ruth and Jim Thorpe in their heydays, names Thorpe the greatest athlete of the first
greatest all-around athlete. He could do everything. Played football, won the decathlon, played baseball, everything. He, like I said, but he didn't stick around in anything long enough. You know what I mean? He could do everything, and Mario's probably right. For greatest athlete, probably was Jim Thorpe. But for me, for team sport, Babe Ruth.
Jackson T. Holy shit. Look at that, Grumpy. It's Lou Lambrello as the Godfather. Look at him. He says, hey, fellas, I listen to your Islander show a lot. I agree with most. But let's not forget what this team did in the past 4 years. It's Jackson T.
We made the playoffs 3 years out of 4. And we never won a division title, and we never won a conference title or a Stanley Cup. That's fair.
We have had postseason success, though, but that's not the goal. The goal is the cup. Stephen S. says here, well, I'm happy the Bucks brought back their purple jerseys during the Ray Allen era, but as a Bucks fan, they need to bring back the 1995 alternate jersey with the cartoon deer permanently, Grump.
100% agree. 100% agree. The third jersey, the alternate jersey, only gets rolled out a few times a year. It should be something totally different than the regular jersey. Absolutely.
I'm going to pull up a picture. Give me a sec, Grumpy. Do you remember what that jersey looks like?
Yeah, just pull it up and look it up. I mean, but yes, for a third alternate jersey, it should be something totally out there. Like the NBA rolls out the silly little names that now they call cities that they're in, the town, whatever, all the stupid things. Those should be nothing more than alternate jerseys, not real jerseys. I think
do you want to know how much these jerseys cost? I just looked up for this jersey right here. It's like $300 freaking dollars for a freaking basketball jersey. Maybe I haven't bought a jersey in a long time. But Jesus Christ.
I mean, NBA jersey, they don't even have freaking sleeves. See, I can't buy a jersey without sleeves. Only
it's like a penny. It's like a penny. It's like, when you're in freaking elementary school, we're like, okay, guys, we're gonna do pennies against normal shirts. And it's like, okay, gotcha. Threw my little yellow penny and we're throwing and playing dodgeball over here. So you don't confuse it. That's exactly what this is like with special little colors on it.
Yeah, but see, for an alternate jersey, I kind of like that. I mean, I
like the jersey too, but not $300.
No, I'm not saying I would buy the jersey, but people do spend money on those jerseys. That's why the Islanders, to me, have just missed the boat the last number of years with their alternate jersey. The young kids love the Fisherman, and they just, for some reason, don't want to bring it back out. They are this year. I don't understand why the fan base isn't into it, honestly. I don't care that the Islanders suck. You know what? Guess what? After the glory years, the Islanders have pretty much sucked most of their franchise history. Let's be honest. And it wasn't because they rolled out a Fisherman jersey. It's because of mismanagement. That's what the reason was.
Stephen S. said, oh, go ahead, Grump.
No. So there you go. So I have, like I said, I will get myself a fisherman jersey, and they're cheaper than the NBA jersey.
I was about to say, I won't be, if the fisherman jersey is $300, I won't be buying myself a fisherman jersey. But Stephen S says here that alternate jersey should be their home and away jerseys, just with their current colors and modern version of the cartoon deer. If they do that, the jerseys will sell like hotcakes. It's a nice jersey.
That's what the alternate jersey are for. They're to sell merchandise. That's it.
Joseph C says here, come on, Grump. I agree with you a lot, but Michael Jordan didn't transcend the sport. He's the best basketball player of all time, and that's arguably the most covered or most coveted or maybe most covered dynasty ever.
I don't think he's the best basketball player of all time. I just don't.
Yeah, because it's LeBron. LeBron James.
I don't think it's LeBron either. I'd say Wilt Chamberlain. I always said Wilt Chamberlain. They changed the rules because he was so much better than everybody else. They changed the rules.
Actually, I'm going to change my ruling. Now that Bill Russell's jersey number's retired, he's the best player that's ever played the sport.
Okay. And just because they were the most covered dynasty doesn't make you the best, does it? People forget they could never beat the Celtics or the Pistons. They could not do that when those teams were the two best teams in the league. They could never beat them.
Gungun says, Grumpy, which candy bar was tastier, Baby Ruth or Reggie?
The Reggie bar.
What's a Reggie bar? Tell them what the hell that
like
is.
$1 million. It's like it was in 1978 after the year they beat the Dodgers. Reggie always said, if he played in New York, they'd name a candy bar after him. He hits the 3 home runs in Game 6 of the World Series, winds up winning League Series MVP. And they have the Reggie bars, which I believe was caramel, chocolate. I don't know if peanuts were in it or not.
Here it is for you.
Yeah, there it is. The Reggie bar. That's it. Peanuts are in there, right? And they were okay, but for me, I like Baby Ruth's. I like that little nougat center. Good stuff.
I'll be honest. They both look pretty damn good. That Reggie bar looks like it's not necessarily the most appealing look to it, but it looks a
little bit like a turd, doesn't it? Like a loose turd.
I was about to say, it kind of looks like it doesn't, how like Baby Ruth now is like, so like, where they just like, when like they squeeze it out and it looks the exact same. Everything is uniform. I'm going to say a lot of those Reggie bars probably weren't uniform looking all like that. They probably all looked a little different and unique.
Probably. Like I said, I had some Reggie bars, but I like Baby Ruth better. Now, you realize Baby Ruth was not named after Babe Ruth, right? That was named after, I don't remember the president. Why do I want to say Chester Arthur? I don't know, but it was named after the young daughter of a former president of the United States. Don't ask me which one. I want to say
Ruth Cleveland.
Oh, okay, Grover Cleveland.
Yes.
Okay. I knew it was an old president. I just did not remember who.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. I still, man.
It used to be known as candy cake.
Yeah.
ANDYKAKE.
Yeah.
So
I love Baby Russo.
Yeah, and Stephen S says here, on a side note, watching the Field of Dream game right now makes me wish they would do a Brewers versus the Cubs or a Mariners matchup at the field. It would be fun to see them wear the Bears and Pilots jerseys.
Well, they're not having a Field of Dreams game next year, was announced today.
Why is that?
I didn't send it to you because I didn't think it was important enough to talk about today, but I think because they're having some youth baseball tournament there. I'm sorry. I mean, they should always give the major league team the advantage there. I'm sorry. It is pretty cool to see them coming out of the cornfields.
I think so too. Here's the other thing. They should do more than one of these games. They should, guess what? The crazy part about it, they should have something like the field, like once or like a few stadiums to where it's like this, but a little unique and different. I mean, like that, there's there's always heritage and there's certain items regarding MLB fields that are always make them unique. But, having something where played in maybe different type of, different ballpark and, a little unique, or a little bit more unique than what they currently have. That's different. I think that would be neat. I think it would be cool.
I disagree with doing it more often. The reason I do is because I remember when interleague baseball was all the rage, when they would just have it like 1 week a year, and just like natural rub, like the Mets would play the Yankees, or they wouldn't have everybody play. Now everybody plays both leagues all year long. It's just lost the notoriety of it. So I think that would be the same if you played, let's play 10 games in Field of Dreams. No, it should be 1 game a year, and it should be just like last year with the Yankees and the White Sox, and this year with the Cubs and the Reds.
I have a bizarre idea that I think may help and spur extra interest in the sport of baseball. What they should do, and this should be done by the league, it should be not in a heavily populated area. It shouldn't be in, a space to where, again, like it's extremely populated. It should be kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Kind of, where is this Field of Dreams stadium located, Grump?
Iowa.
Gotcha. It should be in a place like Iowa, a place like Idaho. It should be in one of those flyover states. What they should do, the MLB, right, to generate extra interest, to generate a little bit of difference in that sport. Wouldn't it be cool if they recreated old parks of old, and teams would play there, right? There's always one game going on there at all times. Or is 162 games. We recreate a Polo Grounds. It's owned by the league, but there's one game played. There's 162 games played at the Polo Grounds. So your team maybe plays 2 or 3 games at the Polo Grounds a year. But still, you've got, and like, I feel like that would be interesting. That would be neat, right? Again, like it's, hey, we're losing money. We're building a different stadium. I just feel like that would be neat.
So, okay. I'm not saying that the concept is terrible, but who's going to come up with how many tens of millions of dollars, billions of dollars to build a Polo Grounds?
A recreation of the Polo Ground? The MLB is coming up with that money.
You realize the Polo Grounds, it was like 515 foot to center field, right?
That's what makes it great, Grumpy.
No home runs in that field.
That's fine.
I mean, let me tell you something. People say
they're all going to wear old-timey uniforms too, for back in the 20s.
Now, people say, Hank Aaron, greatest home run hitter of all time. Let me tell you something. Hank Aaron hit in small ballparks, Milwaukee, Atlanta. That's where he hit. Willie Mays hit in the freaking Polo Grounds, where, and then he hit in Candlestick Park with the winds there. I mean, tough home run parks. He had 660 home runs in his career to 755 for Hank Aaron. But if you put Willie Mays in a Braves uniform all those years, he would have hit maybe 800. Willie Mays, tremendous ball player. A lot of people just remember him for his last year with the Mets in the World Series in 1973, where he's falling down in center field. It was tough to watch. But Willie Mays, my God, he was, talk about a 5-tool player. That was Willie Mays. Great player. The Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. Oh, man, fantastic. Just don't see players like that anymore. Could do everything.
So who's going to lay the first brick at the new Polo Grounds? Who are we going to get? Maybe they can crowdsource it.
There's so many others
out there and say, we're going to sell bricks in front of the stadium. That's how we're going to afford to do this.
There's so many others.
A cool idea.
The Polo Grounds, I don't think that one gets off the ground. You want to have people actually be able to see the game. So you can't have anybody out in center field. It's just too far away. Remember, Yankee Stadium used to have the same thing. It was like, 454 feet to left center field. They used to have the monuments on the field. I remember sometimes the ball would go between the monuments. Guys are scrambling behind the monuments trying to pick up.
Do that shit again. I'm just saying, like, we need something that's going to make add a little bit extra excitement in. And I feel like, right, you're right. I don't think you can go out there every single game and saying, hey, we're out here playing at the Field of Dreams field. But the fact that they're not doing it next year is it's bonkers to me. But they should have some sort of way that I think that's what they have to go to, right? This is America's pastime. How can you incorporate America's pastime and help that generate interest? You have to embrace the America's pastime portion. You're not doing that.
Okay. That'll be a conversation for another time. Do you really think baseball is Americans' pastime still? I don't.
America's pastime? Yeah, for certain it was.
You think
In
it
the
is now?
20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, it was America's pastime.
I'm in now. I don't think it is anymore.
America doesn't have any pastimes. It was baseball and it was football.
Now it's videos. Playing those videos.
Okay, we're talking sports. I'm not talking about playing fucking finger sports, Grumpy.
Well, but that's what every boy, all they dreamed about was baseball. There was nothing. I mean, basketball was nothing. Football was in its infancy. Baseball was it.
It was baseball, and as soon as baseball started losing traction, the NFL gathered in. No, the MLB didn't lose traction. The NFL stole that traction and grew.
Major League Baseball lost that traction because of the money that was involved and the player strikes and putting World Series games on at night, all those things. When I was a kid, the World Series was always played in the afternoon, always. I think that started like in 1972 when they went to night games. But I used to day games, come home from school, click, we put the World Series on. It was great. It was great.
Tell me it wouldn't be great to watch teams play at a Polo Grounds, a recreation of the Polo Grounds, Grump. I'd be so down for it.
I don't know about the Polo Grounds.
Name another iconic stadium. I can't. I'm just saying the Polo. When I think of iconic, old-timey stadium, the first thing that comes to mind is the Polo Grounds for me.
Okay. Look at old footage of the Polo Ground. I mean, that play that Willie Mays made on the Vic Wirtz hit. I mean, catching it. And it's funny because Willie McCovey said he knew. Have you ever seen that catch that Willie Mays made over the shoulder, running backwards over the shoulder, and then hauling it back into the infield? The Browns were the best team in 1954 in baseball, by far the best team. And Willie McCovey said, we knew he was going to catch. I believe it was Willie McCovey. Maybe it was Monty Irvin. Said, we knew he was going to catch that ball. Well, they said, how'd you know? Whenever he went like this, he hit his glove with his hand. He knew he was catching that ball. Look at that field. Look at that field.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Look at it. It's like 100 miles to the stands. They play football. That's where the Giants used to play football.
I'm just saying they need to bring back I think they need to embrace the pastime aspect of the sport more. That I do believe. Alexander says here, I honestly think the Mets are the best team in baseball. The way we handled the Braves says that this team is for real.
I believe they're for real. Man, the Dodgers are tough.
Oh, you keep talking about the Dodgers. My Mets are going to take them down, Grumpy. John M. says Beltran striking out looking in 2006 has irritated me to this day. Dude, I remember that too. I remember watching. I'm like, God damn it.
Swing the bat, please. I don't think he swung at any pitches that at bat.
My God.
Did he? I can't even remember.
He was the best batter on that team, too.
Yeah, Carlos Beltran was an underrated hitter.
He was a fantastic ball player.
Yeah, he was.
Part of the killer bees for the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
Beltran, Biggio, and Bagwell.
Yeah.
Man, that's taking it back. Alexander says here, go ahead and read it, Grump.
Oral Hershiser was the reason they beat us in 88. He was incredible. The Bulldog. Tommy Lasorda saying, I think he had 57 54, 53, 57 straight innings of shutout ball. Think about that. Pretty damn good.
Joseph C. said that 06 Mets team would have steamrolled the Tigers in the World Series. Just pitching injuries.
2006 was against the Tigers? I don't remember. I didn't think it was the Tigers that year. They're all running together.
That was the Tigers. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the Tigers.
And the Tigers, the Tigers wound up beating, was it San Diego?
The Tigers beat the Oakland Athletics in the ALCS.
Who won the World Series?
I thought it was the Cardinals. The Cardinals won the World Series because the Cardinals beat us.
Okay, so they beat the Tigers?
Yeah, the Tigers.
I didn't remember the Tigers playing the Cardinals. I thought what was it, 87? It was Minnesota beat the Cardinals in 87.
The Cardinals beat the Detroit Tigers. We're talking about 2006, Grump.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. 2006. Okay.
2016. Yeah, so it was the Cardinals who beat the Tigers in 06.
Okay.
Yadier Molina, a Met killer. Alexander also said, by the way, I hope you guys are doing great. You guys are awesome. Just make sure to come to T-Mobile to set up your service. Just kidding, says Alexander. And Frank K said here, LaDuca, sorry, not Duda. Yeah, Lucas Duda, I remember him too. Jackson T said the Islanders can win a cup this year if the players are played properly.
I don't know. I don't think they're talented enough.
The talent will eventually be one of the stumbling blocks for the team. Is simply just assembling the team in the right area and making sure we play the right style. Is that simply enough to allow us to win a cup? I just don't think so. It's a big ask.
For me, the transition should start.
Stephen S. says here, 2006 was ironically the same year that Carolina Hurricanes won their first cup and only Stanley Cup in franchise history. Wish the Hartford Whalers were still a team today. Would love to see them come back.
Yeah, Connecticut could not support a team. That's why they moved down to Carolina. I'm surprised, if you're going to move to Carolina, North Carolina, they should have went to Charlotte, honestly, not Raleigh.
Charlotte wasn't as big as Raleigh at that point, I don't think.
Yeah.
Charlotte was still growing, but it wasn't as big.
Charlotte was the biggest city. Remember, I lived here. Charlotte was the biggest city.
I did too.
Even back then, not even close. Raleigh is the state capital, but Charlotte's the biggest city.
Alexander said, Grump, honestly, we ruined Lasting's Millage. I wasn't aware of that.
He must be saying Alexander and TJ ruined Lasting's Millage.
Alexander, we actually showed that fan fight you'd sent me. We showed that last podcast. I think Joe sent it to us. It was a big one. It was when Jacob deGrom and Jacob deGrom Jr. were over there fighting in the stands, and they pummeled them.
Oh, yes. Do remember that one.
Gungun says, why is there so much foul language in Pulp Fiction?
Because Quentin Tarantino wrote the movie.
That's 100% accurate. John P., the distinguished gentleman, says, hello, gentlemen. School starts Tuesday. Go Hounds.
John, getting ready to put the nose to the grindstone for another year. Good luck, John.
Absolutely, John. Joseph C. said here, the Islanders are nuts. Bring back the fishermen. The Mets have made a killing bringing back the black jersey. I bought a black jersey before they had brought it back. I bought a jersey probably like 2018. Bought a Mike Piazza black jersey. Couldn't tell you why, but I liked it. And I was like, oh, there we go. Or maybe I got a birthday gift.
You bought it?
You bought it? Birthday gift. I don't freaking know, Grump.
Yeah. Believe me, you never come off the hip for anything when you lived in this house.
Oh, is that what it is, huh?
That's exactly right.
Stephen S. said here, that's something worth noting about basketball jerseys. They're basically just a tank top, technically speaking. Yeah. Unless you're ripped or jacked, you have to wear some sleeves under it to look good.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why some people shouldn't wear a tank top.
As I say, now that you're telling me it's like a tank top, maybe I'm down for basketball jerseys. They're just too expensive. Jackson T said, I'm 17, so not necessarily a kid, but I'm buying the fisherman jersey as soon as it comes out. Let's go Islanders!
Jackson, if you're 17, you're a kid. To me, you're a kid.
Mm.
I'm not running you down either, Jackson. I'm not. 17. I consider 17-year-olds are the kids they're selling the jerseys to, by the way.
Gungun says here, speaking of alternate jerseys, how stupid are the Jets for not bringing back the Wesley Walker era green helmets for a game or two?
Yeah, they had the old green helmets with the Jets on the side, like with a little jet underneath. Richard Todd, I remember him wearing those, the quarterbacks. The worst jerseys ever, the worst uniforms ever were the original and I'm not talking about the New York Titans jerseys when they were the Titans for a year or two when they first started, but the original jet with the little football was not good. Not good during the Namath era. But I did like that. But I have to say, I like the shiny green helmet that they have. I kind of like that.
Alexander said Jordan played against better competition than Russell, Chamberlain, or LeBron. I don't know about that.
I don't know about LeBron, but I would say yes, more than Russell or Chamberlain. But Chamberlain in particularly totally dominated competition.
Stephen S. said, speaking of the fisherman jersey, from what I've heard, the jersey will only include their current home and away colors. There will be no teal included, which will be a very shocking move overall.
Here's the thing. I don't care that they're taking away the teal, but I will say, yeah, how are you going to ruin the actual fisherman? Because the teal looked good on the fisherman logo.
I'd say that, yeah.
If you're changing that to a dark blue, I don't think it has the same effect.
I think they should go a little bit more of a powdery type of bright color too.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Embrace it, man. Make it look. People are going to hate and the people who hate it would hate the jerseys even more. But the people who love that jersey are going to love it even more. So
Yes.
maybe it would entice me to spend exorbitant amount of money on a freaking hockey jersey.
I saw
says here.
I saw some of those jerseys. I saw the Seals jersey. I absolutely want the Seals jersey. I want Johnny Canuck, and I want the Fisherman.
I like the Minnesota North Star jersey. That one always looks good too. As a third jersey.
They were some good jerseys back then.
Yeah, Gungun says here that Reggie Barr looks like a piece. Looks like a cow flop.
Yep.
And Stephen S says here, apparently during the first wave of the retro jerseys, the original concept Adidas pitched for the Islanders was the black version of the Fisherman jersey, which should have happened, but it got rejected.
Either black or orange. I would have no problem with that at all.
I'd have to see it. I can't visualize it in my head. Mario says here, they're not having the game next year because they're expanding the stadium.
Okay, I thought it was because they were having a youth tournament around there or something, but they couldn't do it.
They're expanding the stadium. Okay. Get the Polo Grounds up and going. Alrighty, guys, you've got about a few months. We need it about ready in 8 months. Okay,
that's how long it takes to put up a stadium.
Yeah, probably a little less. I think they can go ahead and get to work on it. Working every hour, maybe 10,000 people on the crew, working 7 days a week, 24-hour shifts. I think they can get it done. And Drew L said, Grumpy, what about Willie Mays Hayes? He
could steal the base better than anybody. You know who Willie Mays Hayes is, TJ?
Just Willie Mays, isn't it?
No, he was in a movie.
Oh.
And Wesley Snipes played him in the movie. The problem is he could never get on base. He could steal like Lou Brock or Maury Wills or Ricky Henderson, Vince Coleman, Willie McGee, but he couldn't get on base. It was the movie Major League. He was right out of somewhere penal. Came right out of jail to play baseball.
Stephen S. said here, on top of that, the Hurricanes reverse retro jersey was going to be the Whalers jersey. The Canes would occasionally wear, but with Hurricane colors. I don't think it would sit well with the Whaler fans.
I liked it better when they just used the Whaler. And they've worn just the Whalers uniforms before, the old Whalers uniforms. They were nice, the whale. Just like the little whale tail. Nice.
Andrew L. said, home runs are easy at the Polo Ground as long as it's down the line.
Yeah, well, tough.
Alexander said, Grump, they did all those day games because they had no lights.
Not true.
And he didn't swing at all, Carlos Beltran. Oh, yeah, the Tigers beat the Padres back in 1984.
Okay, it was 84, yeah.
Andrew L. said, should the Mets wear the 86 jerseys in the playoffs like they did in 2015?
No.
Jackson T said, I'm a kid.
He is a kid.
Nico said the Fisherman jerseys are the best.
He knows.
Alexander said that 06 team, honestly, was a great team. Our pitching staff was depleted by injuries. Tom Glavine, yeah, that's right, was our best pitcher. And we had John Maine. Yeah, John Maine pitching, as well as El Duque was hurt. We had to go with Oliver Perez in Game 7. And he wasn't even supposed to be in the postseason roster. Pedro Martinez was also hurt. It's a lot of injuries.
El Duque was probably, 45 years old by then. Who knows?
He was still good.
Yeah, he was kind of on the downside by then.
As Alexander also said, if we had better pitching, we would have won. Mario said, I like the old Titans of New York colors, navy blue, gold, and white. It's more a propo, or what is that? It's more
apropos.
Apropos. I'm sorry. It's more apropos. The name of the team. What is the relevant relationship between the green and white and the Jets?
I don't know, but the New York State colors are orange. Well, it's like a blue and orangey yellow, orange, blue, and white. That's why the Islanders are the colors they were. They used to have the license plates used to be that color. I don't understand the green and the white for the Jets. Now, the Jets were called the Jets because LaGuardia was by the Jets, by Shea Stadium, and the Jets are always flying over the top of Shea Stadium.
Yep. Stephen S says here, funny how you mentioned the California Golden Seals. That was the Sharks reverse retro. That's what the Sharks reverse retro will be.
Yeah.
We don't know the specific jersey and colors, but they're trying to wear the famous white skates. Oh man, that could be neat.
That team was owned by Charles O. Finley, who also owned the Oakland A's back when they were winning championships. And I remember the players that they had to paint their skates white, and they said it was skating like with, skates are like 50 pounds with all that paint over there. But they were cool, man. That's how I loved the Oakland A's back in the day because, and this is when you never got to see them play. Maybe every once in a while on the game of the week, but they're a West Coast team. So you'd never see them playing at home. First of all, it'd always be, East Coast road games. And that's when whenever they played the Yankees, man, I watched that whole series and just those uniforms, the green, the yellow, the white shoes. Holy crap. They were my favorite. Oh.
Alexander says he wishes that could have been a reverse retro. No,
is that a
thank you.
Dennis Vasky jersey?
No, thank you. You need the fisherman. No fisherman, no deal.
Yeah.
And Mario says here, wasn't Millie or Willie Mays Hayes?
And maybe it was Omar Epps. I thought it was Wesley Snipes. Maybe it was Omar Epps. I thought it was Wesley Snipes, though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Drell said, I almost got my hands on the Barzal fisherman jersey, but the people at the arena told me that the jersey was meant for display. I was big sad. Oh, man.
I don't understand. It's just it's so short-sighted, honestly.
Nico says here, the Canes, blue and black warm-up jerseys looked nice.
A lot of those warm-up jerseys look pretty neat. They're just like the color and the logo. That's it.
Mario says the purposes the reverse retro for the Canes was the Whalers uniform in gray. The Red Wings proposal was an old white uniform.
I know they put out a video on it. I haven't watched it, but I saw some of them. I'm like, oh yeah, I love the Johnny Canuck logo. Just love it. It's great.
Mario also says there's a YouTube channel that belongs to a lady who used to work as a designer for Adidas. There you can see all the original concepts for the reverse retros. Okay, well, there we go. We'll have to find that. Thanks there, Mario. Alexander also said, I like the Ducks old uniform with the one with the Mighty Ducks logo. I like that one too. Nope. And Wesley Snipes played in the first one. Omar Epps was in the second.
Okay, there you go.
You didn't like the Mighty Ducks uniform?
No. Not with the original Duck. No.
You didn't like that?
No.
Why not?
I know I got you one of those jerseys, but it doesn't mean I liked it.
No, you got that from my brother.
Okay. I got it for one of the two. I didn't like it.
I did. And hold on, Grumpy. Let's start bringing this to a little bit of a fun portion. I feel like today has been a lot of I don't know, more information based than clip based. But let me ask you this: do you think this is a play where an ejection should follow? Should a suspension follow a play like this, Grump?
In today's baseball, yes.
I don't know. He's ready. The catcher's ready. What?
You're not supposed to be blocking the plate. I mean, he's way up the line.
Yeah, what
I don't know. They want him to slide.
How is he going to slide?
Do a hook slide or something. Yeah.
How the hell is he going to slide from here?
I don't know how the catcher got knocked out. You've got to get the glove up. First of all, ball on hand.
Here's the thing.
The ball
should be. One of the bases said, "Here we go, brother."
Here's how it should have been done. You hold. He's already caught it. The ball should. You look here. The ball is in his glove. It should be in his bare hand, in the glove, and then you punch the runner as he comes by. He didn't have to use his body there. All he's got to do is just hold it. This kid, look at the way he's running. He ain't sliding.
He easily could have sidestepped right here. Boop. Let me just take one more shuffle step, and I'm just going to tag him with the glove.
Yeah, See,
the catcher said, "Here we go. I'm going to try to go ahead and get down." I'm like, what do you expect the batter to do?
I don't understand how he's going to do. Hold on, keep rolling it because I want to see if his head hits the ground.
Yeah, it does.
Head hits the ground. Okay,
his shoulder hits the ground too.
Yeah, I mean, he's knocked out. So I
He's
mean, but
closing out.
yeah, he tossed. I mean, I don't blame him. Those are the mod. That's the rules today.
What do you? Okay, the catcher shouldn't be allowed to do that. Then catcher can't. Okay, catcher, you can't just go ahead and line yourself up. I mean, this is on the freaking line. This is up the damn base. This is on the base path, Grump. It's nowhere near the freaking plate. It's out. It's not even in the batter's box.
Well,
I
that's
don't know. You're just not going to get much forgiveness from me
that's
here,
where
the guy trying to stand his ground for
but
right here.
that's where he caught the ball. I mean, the ball was up the line. I mean, it's a play. I mean, that's the rule now. You can't run over the catchers. That's the Buster Posey rule, right? So you're not allowed to run over catchers. But here's the thing. The catcher was wrong anyway because I think he dropped the ball as well.
He held on to the ball.
It looked like he dropped it.
He held on to that ball.
Okay, here's the thing. You got to hold the ball in your hand, put it in the glove, and you punch the guy coming past. You don't have to absorb that. You see him coming at, no problem. Punch him right in the face as he's coming at you. You got to be the aggressor there. I'm sorry. It'll be the last time he charges that catcher. You punch him in the face with the ball. You can see him be so aggressive on the base passes again.
Look at that sexy uniform, bro.
See, I don't think that was the original. I don't think that was the original logo. I don't think that was the original logo that they had. They had the skating duck was the original logo. I don't mind the mask, but I didn't like that color scheme either. But I didn't like their original one, which was like the duck.
Well, our friend Vogelback, who's on the freaking attack, he popped up, Grumpy. I ran across him on my social media feed and I had to pull it up. Now, this is for good reasons. I want you to listen to this. He's got a new walk-up song, Grumpy, and I want you to listen. Were you able to hear that? I know it's tough. It's gargled. He's got My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard as his walk-up song.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Go back. He's doubling down on his thickness. Look at that big old bastard.
Does he go like this, like Ben Stiller in Dodgeball at the end? My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Their life is better than yours.
And you couldn't see. And hold on. And you couldn't sing that song earlier today, Grumpy?
I didn't remember the lyrics.
Bullshit. You couldn't.
I did not remember the lyrics. If I had the lyrics, I would have sung it.
Grumpy, you couldn't sing that song?
I did not remember the lyrics.
Uh-huh.
I can't sing a song if I don't remember the lyrics. Sorry.
Anyway, so I wanted to show you that a little Vogelback on the attack, baby. Did you hear about Hartman, the quarterback? Hold on a second. Damn it. There's one more item. Remember you had talked not too long ago. You had spoken about how we had run across Mekhi Becton at a local McDonald's.
Yes.
Well,
I won't forget that anytime soon.
I don't know who this is, but this is a Spirits Airline fight, Grumpy. Not necessarily a fan fight, but I want you to watch the freaking movement this guy gets over here, Grumpy.
Why is he tackling that woman? I mean, he's going after her.
I don't think. My goodness gracious! Look at that. First off,
he looked like. I'll tell you what, Mr. Blackshirt looks like Mekhi Becton just got bull rushed. Even at 7,000 pounds, just gets bull rushed and tossed aside. I mean, and this girl's sprinting away. And this looks like this is.
She's not moving very quick. She's trying to. You know what it's like? It's like a quarterback who's rolling out in the pocket. She hasn't watched enough NFL film. Here's the thing. You've got Von Miller here, Captain Red Shirt. You got the guy in the black shirt doing a good job. She's providing a little bit. He's providing a little bit of that pocket presence. The quarterback starts scrambling, but look at this.
So you're trying to say that's
she's trying to set her feet right here. That's a mistake.
Okay, you're saying that's good pass protection because he's back on his heels already.
Hey man, it's a slow death. It's not a bad loss, right? He's got a slow death. This is a one-on-one pass pro situation, Grumpy.
He got dominated. Watch
he's getting pushed back in the pocket. The quarterback's trying to go ahead and plant his feet right here. This is the issue, Grump. We've got Mrs. Caprice over here trying to set her feet. Keep moving. The pocket's collapsing.
Maybe she's looking to make a pass. She's trying to get the ball out of the way.
I know.
This guy just getting bull rushed right into her.
Dude, Von Miller. Look at Von Miller. This technique. He
See,
uses the
saying that's
long
Reggie
arms
White.
his advantage. He gets him inside. He gets the breastplate, Grumpy. He's got the low hat, too. Mr. Von Miller
It's not
gets the
Von Miller.
extension.
That's not Von Miller. That's
It's-
like a
it's
Reggie
Steph.
White move. It's not Von Miller. It's a bull rush move.
Watch this. Watch this, though. He goes, whoop.
Whoops.
Do you see Mr. Blackshirt? Blackshirt tries to go ahead. He tries a little bit of an arm chop. Look at this arm chop. He tries to go down with an arm chop. Boop.
Misses.
Don't worry.
Gets shucked. He
just gets tossed right aside. And the quarterback.
He never sunk those hips. He was straight up and down.
I don't think Mr. Redshirt intended to tackle her, perhaps, because it looks like he's falling. I think this is him. I think because look, there's a dog. There's an animal that I think he's trying to avoid from flattening and killing an animal like a dog. But I figured you'd find this one kind of interesting, Grumpy. At the airport.
I don't understand why he's tackling a woman.
I
don't know what she did, but I mean, he's going. He's
on
legit,
top of her.
He's legit going after her.
Oh man, he made the tackle. The dog stayed safe. Hopefully, hold on. Oh, it looks like she may be swinging at him.
From where? 100 miles away?
I don't know. Her hand was up in the air. Maybe not. Or they had something in their hands. I don't know. Yeah. But this is quarterback's got to keep on the move. Got to keep on the move here. Tries to set her feet. Bloop. Oh, man. Watching it, in fact, I honestly am shocked that happened. But hey, it's a Spirit Airlines flight. That's like the ones that's known for being unbelievably cheap, where they cancel everything and like tensions run high because they treat the customers like shit, and they're like, oh man, they get canceled all the time, Grump. So
what you should have done is taken that dog case and smacked them in the face with it, or let the dog loose. Go, row! I bet you would have been charging after her then.
Look at the motor. Look at the motor on Mr. Redshirt, man.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, that's the way to do it. I tell you what.
Look at his aggressive hands. Hold on a second. He gets the first hands. He freaking goes ahead and boom. He gets the first hands. He goes ahead and repositions, gets back underneath, and gets right under the pads of Captain Blackshirt to get the quarterback in the backfield.
Captain Blackshirt is a shitty pass protector.
Captain Blackshirt did a good job.
Straight up and down. He never bends his knees, gets an athletic position, never gets his hand. He gets his hands out a little bit, but he's standing straight up and down.
Short arms. Right here is a situation. We've got a guy coming into the draft who's got short arms. It's hard for him to go ahead and get those defensive linemen and have those long hands.
You know who he looks like? That's Mekhi Becton. And here's poor little Zach Wilson going down.
Oh man, Wilson gets brought down.
Oh my gosh, look at this! I tell you what, though, this guy played. He played before the other guy.
I tell you, he definitely played. Look at the fact that he gets underneath, he repositions. Boop. He gets right back underneath. You could tell he played some sort of high school, maybe some sort. Boop. It's right back underneath. I'm impressed.
He doesn't even. This guy jumps on top of the girl. And what does Mr. Blackshirt? What does Mekhi Becton do? Nothing. He's not even going after him.
Didn't jump on him. I was about to say. Usually, when your offensive linemen get them, you got to help your quarterback up, Mr. Blackshirt.
Where is again?
Where's the
criminal? Why not landscape? And why did we cut it off here? There was way more to this than we're seeing.
I wonder. Look at everybody else who's just watching. Like, what the hell is going on?
But the worst guy is Mr. Mekhi Becton trying to protect, Zach Wilson there, and he gets him on the ground, and he don't do anything about it. I mean, you can't let your quarterback get beat up. You got to jump in there.
Look at Redbird. He's got inside hands too. Look at that. And Mekhi Becton on this situation, Mr. Blackshirt, you see how he doesn't punch. He tries to place the hands. As he tries to place the hands, too short. Hands are too short, Grumpy. And the quarterback gets flattened.
And here's the thing: Mekhi Becton come up, and he was limping. Of course.
This is how Mekhi Becton actually destroyed his knee.
My God.
Hold on. Oh no. Uh-oh, Grumpy. Hold on a second. We've got more context. Holy shit. Who would have ever thought? I thought we only just had the four.
And does it get to play longer? That's what I want to know.
Oh, my gosh. This is what happened, what led up to this fight. I know it's not a fan fight, but might as well call this airport fight because it's entertaining. At least we got to see some football in this fight.
You haven't lost your mind. Don't touch me ever in your life. You touch me first, and then you got in my face. Don't ever invade my personal space. Get out of my face!
Okay, well, I don't know why the Spirit Airlines guy's getting back in her face because that shit.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. You're touching me again. You're touching me again.
Why is he pursuing? He's like, you're touching me unless
stop. I mean, stop. I mean, he's
de-escalate, brother. Get away.
Just back away.
Walk away.
Stay out of my personal space.
Well, stop going after him.
She's touching me. She's touching me.
She's touching me, but you keep going to her. Just back up, man. Take a break. Take a 15-minute break. Walk away.
What was the start? I missed the
I
start.
don't know. It was just them yelling. She was yelling at him, like yelling at him, getting in his face, all that type of stuff. And he's like, you keep getting in my face, but he keeps walking to her.
I'm telling you, don't put your hands on me.
So that was okay. I saw her hand up. That I thought it was a hit. I was right. But let's see. Let's see the whole issue here now.
Don't put your hands on me.
He was a maniac ready to go. Oh my God. That gets you game misconduct. He threw a punch after there, Grumpy. You can't be throwing punches after the play. Oh,
automatic injection.
no. Reggie White, you can't throw a punch, man. He gets up. Oh, right to the back of the head. Reggie White.
Where did she go? Did she go back down again? Where'd she go?
She went running.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'd take his ass down. That's where you got to grab something and smack him in the back of the head.
He's still going at her. Why are you still, bro? Why is he still going at this guy's just
he's
beyond his point?
Okay, here's the thing. He's an asshole. Here's the thing. I don't know what she was yelling at him. Maybe she was being a Karen. I don't know. But at some point, just walk away.
Right.
Dude, you look horrible in this. I guarantee he probably got arrested for assault.
Do you remember the last time we saw an airport fight with that ex-NFLer, the guy who was in the CFL who bludgeoned that guy? The airport worker just started pummeling him. My God.
It never turns out. It just
I know. Anytime you fight in the airport, nobody wins.
Now I've taken plane flights. I never get into fights. I mean, I'm just trying to get on a plane.
Yeah, grumpy. But yes, so that was a little bit more of the context here. And she's still going. He's still going at him.
Hey, relax.
And there's Mr. Security Guard.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. Mr. Good Dad. He says, you're not going to fight a woman. Fight a man. Fight me. Don't hit this thing. Look at this.
Relax. I fight whoever. Put your hands on me. Whoever.
Mr. Red Shirt doesn't look too prone to go ahead and start swinging on Mr. Blue Shirt. Now that there's another guy involved, he doesn't want to swing on him.
What's with the? Just roll it all the way through. Roll the whole thing through.
You saw what she did.
And there's the end.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Grow up. My thing is grow up. Grow up. What are you, 2 years old? Grow up. Pretend like you're an adult.
Mr. Red Shirt. Reggie Wayne had some hell of a move. He had a hell of a move there, Reggie White. He got underneath him, got the low pad level, got the sack, but then he got a game misconduct. He got thrown out for the remainder of that game and all of next game because he threw a punch. Should have known better, Reggie White.
He's just lucky. I'm just going to say that guy's probably lucky that those chairs are bolted into the ground because somebody would have picked them up and smacked them upside the head.
I would have. Fight.
I would
have.
I could just imagine if the warden was getting attacked by some clown like that. I guarantee. Here's the thing: I'd kill him or I'd die trying. Just saying. And I hit him with everything I got.
Grumpy, I don't think you got much.
I take my belt off, I wrap it around my hand. Bam!
So hold on. The warden's getting attacked. Move number one for Grumpy is to start unbuckling his belt to wrap around his hand. How long do you think it's going to take you to get ready for that?
Not too long. Zip, zap. Choke him out. Hit him with the belt. Actually, you start smacking him with a belt. That'll get him to break up. Come on, GP. Let's go, baby.
Even S says here, the one thing I wish the Jets would do is bring back the honor, the history of Flash Gordon, that 1980. That film is an underrated masterpiece. Queen actually did the soundtrack for that film.
Okay. Now, Steven, I'm going to tell you what. I used to watch an old serial called Flash Gordon back from.
Flash.
Okay, that was the movie. All right, that was the movie. I'm talking about Flash Gordon from like the 1930s. They were serials they would show in movie theaters every Saturday. And, my mom she'd tell me how she'd go to movies and before every feature, they send in the movies. Hey, go to the movies. They play double, triple features, whatever it was. And they play these little shorts before every week, Flash Gordon. And The rocket ships used to go down like this. They go, they'd land going like in little circles till they landed on the ground. It was wild. I remember seeing some of those on PBS way back.
Got in the comment here. He says, I'm actually going to see the Week 6 Packers against the Jets game. I'm considering wearing my Flash Gordon t-shirt. He wore one in the movie underneath, he wore one in the movie underneath my customized Elite jersey I got with the name on it there. Number 28 on it.
Why not? Just do it.
Jackson T said, thanks for a good time tonight, boys. See you Saturday. See you Saturday, Jackson. Stephen S. also said, glad to see Spirit Airlines hasn't lost its touch since March of this year when it went to Vegas for the first time. I would too start a fight if my flight got delayed for over an hour.
Isn't everybody always playing on their phones anyway?
Yeah, I've had flights delayed for way more than an hour. I mean, like all the airlines just anytime you fly, just like just get ready to be angry. Just get ready. I come in with the expectation to be disappointed. I come in the expectation like it's an Islanders off season. I don't have high hopes when we fly. Also, flying with Spirit Airlines is like getting stuck in between two bouncy springs from a classic 1990 Sonic the Hedgehog game with one small turn on the plane. It feels like you're about to crash. Drill said, listen, that's why you don't just lay your hands on anybody. That's right. You got to throw the punch. Got to throw your compact punch. Andrew L. said, did you guys see that Marshawn Lynch arrest video? And what was he driving?
I don't know, but it was a car that had the wheels worn out, is what the cop said. I sent it to TJ. He's like, no, we're not showing that. It's way too long.
I said, we don't have 7.5 minutes right now, Grump, to show that. We had a jam-packed video. We had a jam-packed show today, Grumpy.
Okay.
But yes, I did see it. I'm going to watch it again, too. It's just happy he didn't hit anybody or cause any damage to anybody because he was pretty obviously under the influence. Sam Hartman, not sure if you're aware by this. He was the quarterback there for Wake Forest. He is out indefinitely due to a non-football related medical condition. They haven't announced what it is, but who knows? Maybe he's got. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious there, Grump, and his senior season here for Sam Hartman.
Is this what you came up with today for the show? Is this something that you came up with the show?
I wanted to add.
You canceled Marshawn Lynch and his arrest video for that. Thanks,
Grumpy. It's more of a time constraint item. You wanted to still talk about Deshaun Watson and Roger Goodell saying it was
late for that now.
What do you mean?
Look, we had that Sam whatever thing that took up all the rest of our time.
Yeah, okay, Grumpy. Talk of this because you wanted to speak specifically about it. You asked it to be in the show. I put it in the show. You better well deliver, Grump.
Deshaun Watson's going to get railroaded on this. You have the commissioner of the league who said that he is not going to be involved at all. That's why he handed off to somebody else working for the league, some former DA for the new state, New Jersey state, whatever it was. And then he comes out and makes comments like this, which are absolutely prejudicial against Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. All of a sudden now, this piece of shit, Goodell, hasn't said anything for a year and a half. And now just as he's about to play, you're going to come out and say these things about him? I'm sorry.
I can understand why maybe Deshaun Watson will never be friends with Roger Goodell.
He could have solved this problem last year. He didn't have the balls. The NFL, of course, would never do that. They wait until they take the pulse of what the people, what they hear on social media, and then they make their judgments. I'm sorry. I have zero respect for the meat shield. Just zero.
That's what he is, though.
He is the meat shield.
Maybe you saw.
Shut your mouth.
Go ahead, Grumpy.
He sickens me. He sickens me, man. I'm telling you, I got no respect for Roger Goodell because he could have said that. He could have said this. He had all the information last year. Had it all of it last year. Houston did him a favor by not making him active all year long, and I guarantee you that came from the league. You make him active, we're going to have to do something. That's what. That's
just leave him as inactive, so it's not a bad PR move for you.
And they waited and waited and waited and waited until, okay, now something had to happen Cleveland traded for him. So you knew they were going to suspend him. The suspension comes down by an independent arbiter. And, well, that's not good enough for the NFL because people are crying about it in social media. The kid, for me, has sat out 23 games. That's enough. That's enough time.
Malik Willis, Grumpy, one of those rookie quarterbacks. I mean, what do you think that likelihood is by the end of the year he'll be starting over a guy like Ryan Tannehill? He scored his first touchdown in the preseason. Of course, it came off the back of his legs. He's a guy who, did do a lot of scrambling there at Liberty. He's a guy who's going to be raw. Do you think he has a chance to have any starts this season over a guy like Tannehill for that Tennessee Titans team?
Zero.
And they're in win now mode, I'd assume.
Zero. No shot. He can't pass. He's got to be able to throw the ball. Okay, he's playing against second and third stringers. Okay, so it's like, okay, so he was able to run the ball in. I'm not saying he's no Michael Vick. He's wearing number 7, but he ain't no Michael Vick.
Oh, man, there's only one Vick. Vick was just so unbelievably quick. He was so skilled back there. There was one guy to evade a tackle in the backfield or an open space. It's Mike Vick.
He doesn't look very fast either.
I'm
not putting him down, but he didn't look fast on that play. He
playing against mobile, but he didn't look quick.
He's playing against second and third string players there. I don't know. He won't play this year unless there's an injury.
Drell said, so apparently we got the reason why how do you pronounce that, Grumpy? DeJounte Murray?
DeJounte Murray hates Banchero. It has nothing to do with Banchero, but more with his accomplishments. Get better. I don't understand that. Just get better.
So, I said, I seriously hope they either remake Flash Gordon or they make a sequel to the first Flash Gordon movie where Emperor Ming takes his planet to Earth to merge the two worlds together and conquer the humans.
He always wanted to take over Earth. Emperor Ming certainly did.
I don't even know who those are. But Drew L said it's because Murray got mad that his mentor, Jamal Crawford, was talking so highly of Banchero. Plus, Murray and Polo grew up in the same city. In a nutshell, it's because Murray wishes he was Pablo Banchero.
Again, grow up. Grow up. Get better. Stop complaining. My God. Ridiculous.
Joel said it just makes for that trade for the Hawks much worse.
Yeah. Just what a disaster.
Grumpy, man.
Who's got to go, though? Who's the guy who's got to go? Got to move Murray, right?
You figure.
Yep.
Grump, we're here at the end of the show today. What do you want to say before we wrap things up today?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. If you're new again, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, follow on Twitter. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure to leave a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. It helps get mine and the Grumpy Old Man's a message out there to the masses. It gets the show out there to the masses. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you guys this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, have a great Friday, great rest of your work week, and we'll see you here on Sunday. And thank you again, Grumpy.
My pleasure. Hit the like button, too.
Hit the like button.
Helps the algorithm.
Helps the algorithm. There it is.